Hello there, good afternoon, and welcome along to Anfield as Liverpool take on Burnley as we await the two teams as we await the start of the kick-off. Let me bring you the two teams at Anfield today. Let's start. Welcome to this Clarets Match Live. Rest of two live Premier League games this weekend. We've got another one up tomorrow. We'll decide what that game is. It will be a toss-up between Arsenal and Chelsea or Manchester United and Everton. We haven't decided which one we're going to do yet, but we will let you know tomorrow afternoon which one we're going to do. Anyway, let's give you the team news and starting of course with the home team Liverpool in this particular edition of the Clarets Match Live, and it's Simon Mignolet that starts in goal for Liverpool today. Trent Alexander-Arnold, Joel Matip, Clavan and Robertson on the back line. Milner, Chan, Coutinho starts, and Salah also starts. Firmino and Sturridge are also there as well. I think Salah, Sturridge and Firmino will play as a front three actually. On the substitutes bench, in fact, for Liverpool, we've got Karius, Wijnaldum, Lovren, Henderson, Moreno, Oxlade-Chamberlain and Solanke. As for the Clarets, well, no Tom Heaton, of course. He dislocated his elbow in that 1-0 win over Crystal Palace last week, so Nick Pope, his understudy, will take over in goal for the foreseeable future. Back four is still unchanged. That's Matt Lawton, James Tarkowski, who's had a good start to the season, and Ben Mee and Stephen Ward. I think they're going to go five in midfield perhaps, because Sam Vokes, as I understand it, has dropped to the bench. So it's Johan Berg Gudmundsson, Jack Cork, Stephen Defoe, Scott Arfield and Robbie Brady, and I think Chris Wood is going to lead the line on his own. So I think they're going to play a similar formation to what they did at Chelsea. On the bench for Burnley, Sam Vokes, Ashley Barnes, Ashley Westwood, John Walters, Phil Barsley, Kevin Long and goalkeeper Adam Ledgkins comes on to make the bench up for Burnley. And there is the Liverpool thing. As I thought, 4-3-3 for Jurgen Klopp's men, with Salah and Firmino either side of Daniel Sturridge. Chan, Milner and Coutinho will play as a three in midfield as well. Matip and Clavan, of course, the two centre backs. There's Jurgen Klopp just walking out onto the tunnel. Anfield looking very sprightly as ever, and as I say, firmly I think they're going to play one up front anyway. That's the indication I get anyway as regards the lineups anyway. There's Philippe Coutinho, great competitor. Wanted to leave in the window for Barcelona, didn't get his wish granted, but what a moment for Nick Pope. His first Premier League start, former Charlton goalkeeper, did really well, I thought, in the victory against Crystal Palace last week, where he excelled himself when coming on as a first half substitute to replace the stricken Tom Heaton. The Cop is in full swing. Burnley are in an all-changed shirt of white. And You'll Never Walk Alone is being sung at that end, and it's a magnificent, it's our first match stream for, regarding Liverpool at home, but it is a Clarets Match Live because Burnley are involved. Burnley with 7 points from their opening 4 games, which is quite something very special, I have to say. 2 magnificent wins, well, certainly a great win on the opening day, of course, against Chelsea, where they won by 3-2. Liverpool are going to attack the Cop, incidentally, in the first half here at Anfield. Of course, they won 3-2 at Chelsea, then lost 1-0 to Crystal Palace, not to Crystal Palace, to West Bromwich Albion in a game. They had something like 20 shots in, but failed to hit the target on all the occasions. But they did come back strongly in the next game, when they got a point from Tottenham, with Chris Wood getting his debut goal, and then Chris Wood scoring again in the next game last week against Crystal Palace. So 6 days ago they moved up to 7th. They dropped to 8 because Southampton have beaten Crystal Palace. So Roy Hodgson's return has failed to yield anything, and it's 125 years since Liverpool were founded, and as they get underway attacking the Cop end. They're in the red shirts, incidentally, and well, I think it'll be a cracking game, this one. I think on the TalkSport Selco predictor, we I've put it down as a 1-1 draw, but in reality you've got to make Liverpool the absolute favourites to win this game today. As I say, they're in red. Burnley in the white shirts. They narrowly lost 2-1 in the corresponding fixture last season, so Burnley will want to try and at least grab something from this game. A point would be a fantastic result for Burnley, but they've conceded an early 3-kick. Matt Lawton on Philip Coutinho, so a 3-kick to Liverpool. Coutinho takes it, gets it back again. Coutinho now just inside the Burnley half, has to get it back though, and Matic now will come over the halfway line. And of course at the end of the game we'll have the full classified check of all the other scores, and we'll also have some updates as well as of all the other Premier League Scotch as the early shot comes in from Danny Sturridge. But a nice little test there for Nick Pope inside his penalty area, defending the cop to his to our right incidentally in the first half. Milner making a break down the right, ball just behind Salah, but came to Sturridge on his left foot, didn't hit it as cleanly as he would have liked on the edge of the box, and the ball trickled very nicely into Nick Pope's path, and that'll give the former Charlton goalkeeper a bit more confidence. He a bit of confidence to start with, a bit of a baptism just making his first start for Burnley at the home of one of the most successful clubs in English football. 18 league championships, although they've never won a championship in the Premier League era, so but they do have a magnificent history, masses of cup wins, 5 European Cups Liverpool, and the history is such a rich one. So it's certainly up there as far as rich histories are concerned. But they've conceded a 3-kick here midway inside their own half, and Burnley here have a chance here to try and make something of it. Robbie Brady is going to take it. It's just to the left hand side on the touchline, near touchline. Now Chris Wood has already got 2 goals to his name in 2 games so far for Burnley. We'll be looking to make it 3 here this afternoon at Anfield. Brady the Irishman with a 3-kick, number 12, curls it in left-footed in towards the Liverpool penalty area. Headers one, Woody's in there too, and Liverpool having some really desperate defensive work to do, and in the end they get it away. But the referee has seen a little bit of jostling going on, and in fact there's 2 players down. Chris Woody's one, and Cleven is the other one, number 17. There was a clash of heads there. There's the free kick from Red. You've seen a replay here, headed back by Tarkowski, and then there was a clash of heads, and the referee was right on top of it. I have to say the referee did remarkably well. In fact we'll check who the referee is in just a second whilst we've got a break in play. The referee incidentally is Roger East. No goals in any of the other 3 o'clockers. There is a game at 5:30 at Wembley between Tottenham and Swansea. Earlier today, Roy Hodgson's tenure as Crystal Palace manager got off to a very, very bad start, losing 1-0 to Southampton, and so that means they've lost their first 5 games without even scoring a goal, which is not very good for the men from South London. It's not a good start. I think they were very, very harsh to get rid of Ronald de Boer after just 4 games. I thought they played really well at Burnley last week, and they were very unlucky not to even get a win out of that game. If I'm being bluntly honest, I can tell you that Chris Wood's okay. And I just want to, whilst we've got a break in play, I just want to send our best wishes. I'm sure everybody on this stream will echo what I'm going to say now. Clark Carlisle went missing, of course, in Manchester yesterday, but he was found in Liverpool, incidentally, ironically, safe and well, and we wish Clark Carlisle, a former Claret, of course, to great distinction. He won the playoffs with us with Clarets in 2009, and enjoyed himself in the Premier League season, of course. Had three or four remarkable years at Turf Moor, where he probably had his most successful period, with all due respect to all the other clubs that he's played for. And I have to say, we wish Clark very well in his battle, and we wish his family well. It's just great to see. He's fought depression before and all that. As Liverpool come forward looking towards Salah, it comes to Trent Alexander-Arnold, and Salah takes it again, and again good defending there by Burnley. Jurgen Klopp has paid tribute to the way they've started the season, praised them for their win over Chelsea. But here is Coutinho. Thought he might have winded up on his left foot, plays a 1-2, Coutinho to the byline here. This looks ominous for Burnley. Cross comes in and away by Tarkowski on his edge of his own 6-yard box. But as I say, our best wishes to Clark Carlisle. He's a good fella, a true professional. He's done so much for the game as PFA chairman and everything else, so we wish him all the best, and his missus and the rest of his family as well. So we're just glad that Clark is okay, and we wish him all the best, certainly for the foreseeable future. Please do not send live streams of the game. This is a commentary stream. We will not take streams. You will be taken off at half time. As the ball comes in, Ben Mee completely went under his legs, and in the end Burnley get away with it. Lovely cross down from the left hand side from Liverpool. That's surely a foul there on the Burnley player on halfway, but the referee East decided to carry on. It's getting a little bit feisty. Milner going in there very hard in the centre, but Burnley have it now on the far side with Gudmundsson. Gudmundsson running and keeps possession. Has to turn back though, the Iceland man. Did really well, I thought. Here's Brady now, just inside the centre circle. Has to play it back, and he's got Stephen Ward, who's holding off Charlie Taylor for that left back spot and making it really much his own so far. Remember, after this match today, we'll bring you the full classified scores. So it means we'll bring you scores up and down the country. England, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland. We'll have it all covered after 5 o'clock for you. Here's one inside the Liverpool penalty area, and the whistle has gone in fact for offside against the New Zealand international, and a free kick to Liverpool. We've just coming up towards 7 minutes gone here at Anfield, although I have to say, looking at the replay there, I've just looked at the replay here, folks, and I think he was just about onside, but the linesman made a very conscious decision. It didn't seem to be the right decision, but here's Coutinho now, made deep inside Burnley territory, just towards the edge of the Burnley penalty area. Still Coutinho, but he's running to trouble, and he's gone down, but no foul. Defoe can't reach that ball, unfortunately, from Cork, but it's back with Firmino to Coutinho. Coutinho chipping that in, looking towards Daniel Sturridge inside the area, headed away by Ben Mee, but here's Trent Alexander-Arnold. Alexander-Arnold's shot wider than the near post of Nick Pope, and behind for a Burnley goal kick. Well, we covered Liverpool earlier on in the season in that Champions League playoff against Hoffenheim, and Alexander-Arnold in the game that in the first leg we covered scored a magnificent free-kick goal to give Liverpool the lead. In fact, they went on to win the second leg quite comfortably at Anfield. On the same night, Burnley were beating their biggest enemy, Blackburn Rovers, to qualify for a place in round 3 of the League Cup, and they'll be playing Leeds in the midweek. Well, Burnley, I think it's a Tuesday nighter. That'll be a big game, and if it's that'll be a big match to Sabre. Yorkshire Lancashire. Leeds have had a really good start to the season, incidentally. They've won. They're the only team left in the Championship, incidentally, with an unbeaten record after Cardiff's defeat. Cardiff's defeat the other day, so we'll keep a check on there. They're away at Millwall, incidentally, this afternoon, Leeds United. It'll be a tough baptism, certainly when you go to the new Den. It's not an easy place to go as an away side, as a few teams found out in the FA Cup last season, including Leicester City. Sean Dyche, what a job he's done. I have to say, he's into his 5th year. It'll be 5 years in October, I think, when he took charge, in November in fact, I think, when he took charge of Burnley. 2 promotions, and it's kept him in the Premier League at the first time of asking last season. Done a remarkable job at Turf Moor. One of the, probably I would say, he's in the top 3 greatest Burnley managers of all time, behind Jimmy Adamson and Harry Potts, who was the last Burnley manager to win the top division title all the way back to 1960. It's 57 years since they won that league title, with the likes of Jimmy McIlroy and Jimmy Adamson in the team, and Jimmy Robson. In fact, Trevor Meredith got the winning goal that won the title back in 1960 at Manchester City's old Main Road Stadium. Oh, that's attempted pass. It's hit the referee, Roger East, and but it's ricocheted to it's ricocheted away, but to Matip, so he can get out of the way. And here's Clabban. It was thrown into the firing line a year ago when that didn't have a particularly good game against Burnley, when Burnley won 2-0, having had about 18% possession. Unprecedented today. Possession stats so far in the opening exchanges: 75% Liverpool, 25% Burnley, so not as bad as it was a year ago, although Burnley were to win 2-0 on that day. Foul against Tarkowski on Danny Sturridge, Sheeran headed. Although I think Sturridge looked for that a bit. I think Sturridge was looking for that. I think the referee fell for it a little bit, but the referee is giving a free kick. I think Tarkowski may have had every right to shake his head about that decision. I don't think it was a good decision from referee Roger East. But it's a free kick in a very promising position for Liverpool here. Dangerous one for Burnley. Coutinho and Milner are both over it. It's something like 35, maybe 40 yards from goal. Pope has lined up a two-man wall. Coutinho's gone short, and they've left Alexander-Arnold a little bit isolated and a bit unmarked. In fact, in the end, the cross came off the defender, and it is a throw to Liverpool, almost level their Burnley penalty box. 11.5 minutes almost gone. Liverpool 0, Burnley 0. Live commentary, the Clarets Match live from Anfield. And afterwards we'll bring you a full check. When we get a break in play, we'll bring you up to date with all the latest Premier League scores. We'll bring you up to date with all the other scores across the nation at half time and in full time in the classified with the classified check. As Burnley now struggling to clear their lines a little bit here. Trent Alexander-Arnold takes possession here for Liverpool here. Still 0-0. Here's Alexander-Arnold down the right hand side, but again disciplined Burnley defending, but they've lost it again. This looks ominous. Coutinho dispossessed though by Jack Cork, I think. That five-man midfield tried to stifle Burnley, trying to stifle Liverpool incidentally. They're playing, as I say, 4-3-3. They've done a decent job in this opening 12 and a bit minutes, Burnley, but it's still a long way to go. But they are one of the fitter sides around, and they will not, and their bodies don't drop until the very last second. That's one thing you guarantee from Sean Dyche. He has his teams, as we say, Dyche fit. Here's Trent Alexander-Arnold on the right hand side, floats across towards the penalty area, just bounced a little bit in front of Nick Pope, but he took it no problem at all. It was a decent little cross there from Trent Alexander-Arnold, but as I say, there was Sturridge coming in at the near post, trying to put Pope off, but Pope was very alert to the danger. He made some notable stops, especially against former Liverpool player Christian Benteke in the narrow win over Crystal Palace last week. It was a really remarkable save, in fact, because it looked odds on it was going to be 1-1, and Pope pulled off an absolute blinder. Until then, his only starts have been in League Cup and FA Cup competitions. He started the match against Blackburn Rovers earlier on this season. He kept a clean sheet in a 2-0 success for Burnley that day, as the cross comes in from the right from Milner, but knocked away for a corner by Ben Mee. So Liverpool here now attacking the Cup in the first half, looking to try and make their advantage pay here. Clarets Match live. In fact, it's a throw, sorry. So a throw about 5 yards from the dead ball line, and Alexander-Arnold trying to find Salah, but he can't be found, and Burnley just get it away and hook it up towards Chris Wood, who's up against two Liverpool defenders. Clabban there took a little bit of a risk, but he got away with it. And here's Matip now for Liverpool. Still 0-0 here at Anfield. It's been actually marvellous to go to two cathedrals, of real great cathedrals of football in this last few days. There's Old Trafford the other night for the Manchester United Bale Champions League game, and of course Anfield today. And they do make quite a lot of noise, that is for sure. And Nick Pope bowling the ball out and kicking it away right-footed. Had a decent first half, not really been tested, and the header on by Wood couldn't find Scott Arfield, and it's into the arms of Simon Mignolet. Chris Wood has really hit the ground running. Scored probably half the open goals from open play. It's worth remembering, although we all complained about Andre Gray being sold, he only scored actually 4 goals from open play in the whole of last season. The rest came from dead balls and penalties. 4 goals from open play, which is some statistic. I know he got 10 last season, but As I say, most of them came from the penalty spot. Quarter of an hour gone, still no goals at Anfield, and when we get a break in play, we'll bring you up to date to remember Southampton for their first 5 games, and Roy Hodgson has got a big job on at Selhurst, although I think Steve Parish is getting the brunt of all the criticisms from the Crystal Palace supporters at the moment. And free kick, Arfield wanted a free kick but not getting it. From Scotland, Canadian international Sean Dyche showing words to say here. 4th official might well have a bit of work to do this afternoon. It's coming up towards 16 minutes gone. Burnley doing okay at the moment, holding Liverpool here, but there's still a heck of a long way to go in this game. If you'd offered Burnley a point before the start of this game, I think they would have took your hand off. I mean, in their previous 2 away games, where they weren't expected to get anything from the games, they've taken 4 points from Tottenham and Chelsea in their first 2 away games. If they could get something here at Anfield today, that would be even bigger. 5 points from their first 3 away games. I don't think they will, if they were to get it, and even, well, we won't dare to dream too much, because if we, and I think maybe it might be difficult to try and get a win, but you never know. Football, even in these early season days, early days of the season, can be a funny old thing. Tottenham and Swansea face off in the 5:30 game as the ball was whipped in there towards Salah inside the penalty area, but Ben Mee doing extraordinarily well. It's Matip winning the ball there and going all the way here, perhaps. Salah trying to make something of it. He goes down. I think he's looking for a penalty, but the referee's not going to give it in a month for Sundays. Roger East, Johnny on the spot, and it's cleared away. Now, what's the referee going here now? Is he going over to the linesman here? No, he's not. Look, for one moment, for one horrible moment, he was going towards the linesman, but he wasn't. So it's a throw to Liverpool. Roger East certainly wasn't going to give a penalty for that. Here's Sturridge. Sturridge tries to shoot from a very acute angle from the right of the penalty area. Ball out to play, and well taken, well plucked out of the air by Jurgen Klopp down below. Seen a replay of the thing. I think he goes down a little bit too easily, in my opinion. Salah, I really do. As the shot comes in from 20 yards, misses the target by about a couple of inches. In fact, it got a deflection. Coutinho's shot, or attempted shot, and it's a corner to Liverpool. Yeah, just gets a little nick there off the defender. Pope had it covered in any case, but it's a corner for Coutinho to take, and he didn't. Well, I don't think he was going to get too bad a reception as that corner comes into towards Coutinho, trying to show his quality. The Brazilian wanted to move to Barcelona, but Liverpool will stay firm, and as the cross comes in by Milner, it's charged down in fact, and that's surely out of play for a Burnley throw. Indeed it is. Well, we've got towards almost 19 minutes of the first half, and Liverpool have failed so far to puncture that stubborn Burnley defence. Stephen Ward to take the throw for the Clarets. Just having a look at that replay again. I think he's looking for that. I think he's looking for that. He's trying to wiggle. I think he's trying to buy the penalty off the referee, but I think Roger East is a very astute guy, and I think he got that decision completely and utterly right. Still 0-0. Tarkowski not guilty in my opinion. Burnley holding Liverpool and doing really well, although Liverpool, it's fair to say they've had more of the play and have certainly had the better of the half chances, but they haven't forced any significant saves so far from Nick Pope, which is a telling sign at the moment, but there's still a long way to go yet. Sturridge inside the penalty area. Liverpool trying to pour forward, but again the Burnley body is in the way, and it will be a throw on the right on level with the edge of the penalty area to Liverpool, taken quickly by Alexander Arnold, although that looked a foul throw to me, but referee allowing it to carry on. They get another throw, so Alexander Arnold now with 20 minutes gone will take another throw for Liverpool. and he takes it short, gets it back from Salah, back to Trent Alexander-Arnold on the right hand side. Alexander-Arnold having to play the ball back over halfway, and Clabber now will have to mop up here for Liverpool. Burnley just stifling the Liverpool attack at the moment, and that's what Sean Dyche would have wanted. And Jurgen Klopp would have been aware of the tactics Burnley employed, and of course they won, of course, with less than 20% possession at Turf Moor last season. Here's Salah pulling it back, and he just evaded Tarkowski, but not Maloton that time. Mohamed Salah just having a little bit of joy ominously on the right hand side here in the last few moments. Coming up towards 21 minutes gone as we approach the halfway mark of the first half. Still Burnley 0, Liverpool 0. Ball chipped in there towards the back post. Salah's header at the back post over the top of the crossbar, and a goal kick to Burnley, and a little bit of respite for their defence. But that was a lovely ball rolled in, and Salah getting a decent connection, but not the direction he would have liked there. And I think it would have taken a lot to beat goalkeeper Pope from there, really. Anyway, and a goal kick it is to Burnley as we rapidly approach the halfway mark of the first half here at Anfield. As soon as we get a decent break in play, we can bring you up to date with all the other score lines. Here's Coutinho on halfway line, gets the ball back. Coutinho now, and Salah's just come over to the left now. He's got Sturridge in the middle. Ball back inside to Coutinho, out to Sturridge again on the left hand side. And Liverpool trying to pick their way through this very stubborn and very sturdy Burnley defence, which has been very sturdy, and again they run into trap it, but they get the ball back. Liverpool still having a lot of possession, which is always a dangerous thing, but Burnley have that composure to take on the challenges, and so far it's given them 4 points. They get a throw, so we'll give us a chance now to bring you up to date with what's going on elsewhere in the Premier League. So far we've got 0-0 between Huddersfield and Leicester, champions 2 years ago Leicester. Newcastle 1, Stoke City 0 is a scoreline there. Watford 0, Man City 0 is a latest score, and West Brom and West Ham, a battle of the W's, 0-0 there at the Hawthorns. And earlier today, Crystal Palace 0, Southampton 1. That brings you up to date. Tottenham Swansea incidentally kicks off at 5:30 in the afternoon. Free kick given against Burnley, foul on James Milner, for James Milner, foul by Jack Cork. Liverpool got on with it quickly, so we're halfway through the first half. Just one goal, as I say, in the Premier League. That's come from Newcastle in their match there, winning 1-0 at St James's Park. Looking for their first successive win, incidentally, Newcastle, which would be a feather in Benitez's cap. Former Liverpool manager, of course. Shot coming in from Milner, but it was charged away. And Liverpool so far just making Burnley work. That looked offside against Salah to me. Very suspiciously offside to me against Salah. Certainly knocked at least a yard or two off. Be interested to see the replay. Well, maybe not. Maybe not. I think there's a. Well, I think Stephen Defoe's playing him on. Well, having looked at that replay again, I did look from first glance as if Salah was a yard offside, but a yard or two offside, but in fact he wasn't. So we were all wrong there. 24 minutes gone at Anfield. Liverpool 0, Burnley 0 is the scoreline. Quite a number of Burnley fans, about 2,500 have travelled across from East Lancashire down to Merseyside today. As Trent Alexander-Arnold gets possession, that is a Liverpool throw. Must have come off Chris Wood last, so Liverpool have possession now and look to try and break forward here. 24 minutes have been played. 24 and a half minutes, sorry, I should say, have been played here at Anfield. But at the moment, no way through for Liverpool, but plenty of positives for Burnley. Defence has been solid, but they might be tested here as Sturridge, but Ward does really well, gets the ball back to Nick Pope. Lovely cushion header back to his goalkeeper. That was good, sensible play from Stephen Ward, whose form in the last year and a bit has been... Oh, Nick Pope there took a risk. bowled the ball out, and there was a player checking him down all the way, and he was lucky really that he was a couple of seconds earlier than the Liverpool player, otherwise there could have been catastrophic moment there for the goalkeeper as Ward crosses in towards the 6-yard area, and Woodward's there, he goes down, referee doesn't give anything, but Burnley then just making something happen there out of nothing. Cork now wins it midway inside the Liverpool half. Burnley starting to explode a little bit. Brady with a cross from the left hand side, charged down by Milner. Brady will get it again, heads it forward. Brady again trying to link up with Ward. Burnley having a little counter forward here. This is good play for Burnley. They're not going to sit there all the time and rest on their laurels. They're going to have a couple of opportunities and have an attack, and well, they nearly profited from one of them there. Still 0-0. Amazing first half at the moment. Ball headed back across in there. Wood might get on the end of it. Chance here inside the area. A goal for Burnley! A goal for Burnley with the right foot. It's Scott Arfield, the Canadian international, has put Burnley in front against all the odds. Liverpool 0, Burnley 1. Scotty Arfield the scorer. Magnificent goal with his right foot. He was left virtually unmarked, and from 17 yards out smashes it past Mignolet into the bottom corner, and Burnley, who have soaked up all the pressure, have taken the lead at Anfield. What a moment for Scott Arfield, and it came from a long ball. Liverpool really didn't mark up properly. The header on Wood worked a miracle, and Arfield with the side of his right foot really planted on into the corner. And what a shot we've got on here on the Clarets Match Live. It's Liverpool 0, Burnley 1. Scotty Arfield with his first goal of the season, and he celebrates, holds his arms aloft, and he started the season really well, the Canadian. I have to say, Scott Arfield, he's not one of my biggest, I'm not a big fan of him, but well, I certainly weren't a big fan of him last season, but what about that? 27 minutes on the clock. Liverpool 0, Burnley 1. What a moment for the Clarets. Now they've got something to protect. Remember though, a word of warning though, to myself and every other Claret in the land that might be listening to this. Liverpool trailed in the corresponding fixture to Burnley last year, but came back to win 2-1. So a word of warning here, as Sturridge now tries to make something happen. They played it down the left hand side. Good defending by Matt Lawton. It's a corner kick. So at the moment, Scott Arfield, what a moment for him. Liverpool have got their third corner of the contest. Philip Coutinho, the Brazilian. Chan is in there, Firmino's in there, Sturridge is in there too. The ball in there, Pope gets the ball and takes it very comfortably inside his 6-yard area under virtually no challenge whatsoever. And Jurgen Klopp's men, who threw away a 2-goal lead against Seville in the Champions League on Wednesday night, well, they're in trouble now thanks to Scott Arfield's brilliant controlled right side foot. BogeyTeam.com says King Salah 85, who's a Liverpool fan. Liverpool are a decent team. They've got a good side, but at the moment they're just not. Of course, they're missing Mane for 3 games after that sending off at Manchester City last week, and I still believe it was an unfortunate one, but I think the referee was probably, when you think about it now, I think it was probably right to send him off, because he did have his studs showing and he could have taken the goalkeeper's head off really. But it's still a precarious 1-0. But here's Salah breaking forward, shoots, and he scored. And Burnley's lead, I'm afraid, did not last too long. And Mohamed Salah makes it 1-1. Turned inside the area and from about the penalty spot, shot with his left foot past Nick Pope. He had absolutely no hope of saving it. And Burnley's lead has been wiped out within 3 minutes. Liverpool 1, Burnley 1 at Anfield. And Mo Salah gets the equaliser. A good finish. Not such good Burnley defending, one has to say, but it was a lovely finish there by Mohamed Salah. Long ball there, and Burnley's defence was split wide open here. And there's the shot, and I think Pope will be disappointed there that he didn't stretch enough to get to this, I have to say. Turns there, there's the shot, and it's a good shot, but I think Pope should do better in my opinion. I think Pope should do an awful lot better. That's not great play, defensive play. Ward and Tarkowski were were so down the river by their fellow colleagues, and I think Nick Pope should have tried to get down a little bit more than he did in the end. So half an hour gone, and Burnley, who took the lead for Scott Arfield after 27 minutes, have been pegged back after 29 minutes by Mo Salah, or 30 minutes it says on the official clock. So 1-1. Liverpool back in business, and it's as you were. Scott Arfield trying to break for Burnley, but no cigar this time. So 1-1 is the score. It's the score that I had down on the TalkSport predictor, and here's Sturridge trying to thread it through, but Ben Mee cutting that one out. And that looked a foul there. Silly foul by Chan, and he knows it. He knows it. He knows it. The referee has got to... I think the referee will give a free kick and no more, but Emre Chan, that was stupid. He knew what he was doing. Completely and utterly wiped Scott Arfield out with a clear push. And I think a free kick and no more, but that's got the Anfield crowd purring again after being silenced by Scott Arfield. Free kick which Nick Pope will take. I have to say, it's a little bit at fault for the equaliser, because I don't think he got down well enough to stop the shot. I don't think it was that particularly well hit by Mo Salah, in all fairness, but Pope should have done a lot better. 1-1. And we're coming up to 32 minutes gone. Any Burnley fans on? Mad Claret, are you there? Chris Whiteman, are you there today, sunshine? Or are you hiding in a dark place at the moment, not wanting to know the score? I'm sure you'll listen to the commentary back later on. We do, incidentally, I should just explain to anyone who listens to these streams, or don't listen to these streams often enough, that after we do the live stream, every single live stream we do, and we have done for the last year and a bit, we always leave them on the YouTube channel, my YouTube channel, for you guys to listen on demand. So if you've missed the live game, or you want to listen back to the commentary again, you can do so on my YouTube channel. And please subscribe if you haven't subscribed, King Salah. We'd like to have more football fans, not just Burnley fans, but general football fans up and down the land. We've got all sorts of... We've got Manchester United fans who have subscribed, we've got Crystal Palace fans that have subscribed, and we've got a few Liverpool fans that have subscribed in the past as well. So we've got some of the big teams, people from the big teams who support the bigger teams, taking an interest in my channel, which is always good to see. Firmino trying to play the ball forward, but good defending again from Matt Lowton. I think he's been superb at right back again. Arfield, the goal scorer for Burnley, plays it back to Cork. Cork pirouettes tremendously well from two Liverpool players, but plays a very poor ball in actual fact. Liverpool now in possession back. We're inside the last quarter of an hour of the first half. In fact, we've played 33 minutes. Burnley won, Liverpool won, Burnley won. Liverpool won, Burnley won in the end, and it's a corner to Liverpool. I got tongue-tied there for a minute. Oh, it's been a hell of a long week for me personally, doing day jobs and watching Manchester United beat Bow in the midweek, and that's a good tackle from Stephen Ward. No nonsense stuff there. It's Salah this time prepares to take a fourth corner, goes short this time. Salah will get it back from James Milner. Salah crosses in from the left hand side. The goalkeeper was in two man's whether to come or stay, and in the end he did neither or, but his defenders sorted that one out, and the ball's back over halfway, and Alexander Arnold will have to mop up for the moment anyway for the men from Anfield, who are drawing 1-1 here, having trailed by a goal to nil. Arfield for Burnley with the first goal, and then Liverpool with the equaliser. That looked a Burnley throw to me, but the linesman's giving it the other way. I have to say that's a little bit controversial. I thought it was a throw to Burnley, but it's a Liverpool throw. Milner has it from Salah's throw. Salah with the equaliser, incidentally, for Liverpool 3 minutes after Burnley had taken the lead. Oh, and it went right across the face, Milner's cross, and they all missed it, defenders and attackers alike. Sturridge was the man going in there, and Tarkowski took a big risk there, dummying that. I think he should have tried to put his foot through that. There's the ball in. Well, if that's an attempt at a clearance, it was pathetic really from James Tarkowski, because if Daniel Sturridge had been more aware, I think he would have pounced to make it 2-1 to Liverpool. Not good defending, and Tarkowski's got away with one there. So we come up towards 10 minutes of the first half remaining. Let's just check on all the other scores as Nick Pope takes a goal kick, and at the moment it's Huddersfield 0, Leicester 0, Newcastle 1, Stoke 0. Watford's feel-good factor may well be dwindling a bit because they're 2-0 down to Manchester City, and West Ham is still goalless as well. So 2 games so far that are goalless. Newcastle winning and Manchester City winning, and this game we're seeing here is currently at 1-1. That's a poor ball really from Firmino, but Liverpool fortuitously get the possession back, and they've got a chance here. Coutinho might wind up with that left foot. I thought on a couple of occasions they might have tried to play intricate football. Sturridge inside the penalty area, crosses back. Salah at the back post. Danger here for Burnley, but good defending again. And Jack Hawke getting it out there for the Clarets. That was too close for comfort there. Liverpool trying to play their way through, almost classic Arsenal from 2004-05. Trying to play really intricate football. My teams don't want to do that, but it's not my sort of thing really. Here's Salah trying to curl it. He's hit his own man Firmino. He'll come to Salah again. I did think Firmino was offside, and then in fact Salah's hit the shot straight down Nick Pope's throat anyway. So we're now inside the last 10 minutes. Burnley led through Scott Arfield, but been pegged back by Mo Salah. That's the opportunity there for Salah, heading it back, and caught there just on the edge of the 6-yard box, getting in front to James Milner there. That was good defending there by the former Swansea and Southampton man in his third spell at the club, incidentally. 9-1 in attempts to Liverpool. That's too great a surprise considering they are the home team, and they've had 3 on target Liverpool, 1 for Burnley, which is counted, so the 100% record for Burnley as regards shots and goals are concerned, but Liverpool 1 out of 3 for them on target. As Salah, the goal scorer, comes again, cuts in from the right hand side, and again Tarkowski sticking out a foot, not very far. Channa's gone forward, and a chance here for Coutinho, but again well stopped by that Burnley defence, staying on their feet and not sliding in or being tempted to slide in, which is good disciplined stuff from Sean Dyche's men. They were poor on the goal, but apart from that goal, I've defended with real discipline and real determination, and that's going to go harmlessly through to Nick Pope inside his own penalty area, and he'll take that no problem at all. He can pick that up and clear away. So Newcastle winning, Man City winning 1-0 in their match, 2-0 to Man City at Watford, Huddersfield and Leicester 0-0, and so far West Ham 0-0. I don't feel that in the game that we are watching, it's Liverpool 1, Burnley 1, 38 minutes exactly now have elapsed. We're inside the final 7 minutes of the first half here. As Liverpool now have got some defending to do as Burnley hit a long ball up the field. Ben Mee. That looked a foul there on by a Liverpool player, and it was a silly foul challenge really. The Burnley player is down on the ground. It was a foul here on Johan Berg Gudmundsson, and a free kick to Burnley, and this is where they're going to make things pay here now. Are they going to get back in the lead now? This would be a remarkable thing if they could get into the lead from here. Robbie Brady, the Irishman, who scored a magnificent equaliser against Chelsea last season and turf ball on his debut. Plenty in the line there for Burnley. Ball in towards the penalty area. Mingale just deciding to punch, but there was an offside against 2 or 3 Burnley defenders, and a free kick to Liverpool is the verdict. And Chris Wood was the man offside. The linesman there just flagging away. Let's have a look at the replay. Liverpool played a pretty high line actually and caught Chris Wood offside there. I don't think there was any need for an action replay on the monitors, but so far it's been that sort of match so far. It's to and fro, either way. We will take a 5-minute break at half time, and then we'll come back with all the scores at the break. Championship and Scotland as well, League 1, League 2 and Scotland of course. So plenty to watch out for. And then of course after around 5 o'clock, after this match is finished, we'll have the full classifieds, and hopefully we'll have a few bits of reactions from events here this afternoon as the header comes back. And well, Simon Mignolet having to dive there to get that ball in play. Header back wasn't particularly the greatest one, but still, well done Simon Mignolet. Burnley 1, Liverpool 1 at Anfield, and a foul there, I think again. I think Burnley on the wrong end of a few dodgy decisions. Emre Can went down, I felt, a little too easily there. I'm not saying it to be Burnley biased or anything. I am a Burnley supporter, I've admitted, and I admire Liverpool, but I do think the bigger teams get some very, very soft decisions given in their favour, and I think Liverpool have had one or two today as Trent Alexander-Arnold plays that in. But Ben Mee again, full marks to him, because he did really well there, winning the header. And he says his centre back is his strongest position. He never enjoyed playing left back, he said, and I think that's always a testament to him really at the moment, as Coutinho runs down the centre. Oh, this could be a problem here. Sturridge shoots, and he's hit the side netting. Goal kick. Sturridge cutting in from the left hand side, Coutinho playing the ball through, and Sturridge smashing his left foot shot into the side netting and behind for a goal kick, thankfully for Burnley. And it remains 1 apiece with less than 3.5 minutes of the first half remaining. But Coutinho there just showing his worth. I have to say Coutinho was impressed a little bit from the Liverpool viewpoint, but at the moment it's still 1-1 here, and Burnley have done a decent job here to keep Burnley certainly level, even though they trailed for 3 minutes in the game, the men from Anfield. 1-1 is the score here at Anfield, and as I said, Spurs and Swansea kick off at 5:30, and then tomorrow we'll have probably do a commentary on one of the two games tomorrow. That is between either Arsenal or Chelsea versus Arsenal from Stamford Bridge, or Manchester United against Liverpool's rivals, Merseyside rivals, Everton from Old Trafford. And Everton need to bounce back a bit after a couple of dodgy results, especially in Europe when they were beaten 3-0 away at Atalanta in the Europa League. They weren't just beaten, they may as well have been thrashed for as far as the game went, because they were just abysmal. And it's not every day you see a manager like Ronald Koeman actually come in and admit afterwards that they were not at the races, and he was right. I don't think they were at the races, as Brady tries to work something down the left hand side with Stephen Ward, but it came to nothing in the end. 43 minutes have been played. We're into the last 2 minutes of normal time then at Anfield, and here come Liverpool again. Coutinho in field, still a chance. Coutinho is just a bit behind him. Salah tries to shoot, and he shoots with his left foot, and he hits it straight down the throat of Nick Pope, who does really well. He's had a decent first half, Pope, although you could say he could have got down quicker for the equaliser. But having said all that, all in all though, he's had a decent match so far, the former Charlton goalkeeper. His handling has been superb. Anything he's had to do, he's done it very competently, which is what you need to do really as a goalkeeper. Sometimes competency wins the game. Free kick to Burnley, and Emre Can, I don't think he's got any complaints. He absolutely was late there, and Goodmanson, just a free kick again. But I think if he shows any more dissent to Roger East, I think he's in danger of getting himself in the referee's notebook. We're inside the last we're inside now, coming up towards the final minute of normal time, and then it'll be down to the fourth official to decide how much longer we'll have at the end of the first half. Liverpool 1, Burnley 1. Stephen Defoe and Robbie Brady to take the free kick. Will it be floated in, or will there be a shot coming in? I would wager it's just to the right of centre, about 35 yards from goal. There's a 3-man Liverpool wall, and it's Brady who chips it into the area, and Arfield again went in there, and it went wide of the targets this time, but that was a dangerous ball. In fact, it wasn't Arfield, it was Ben Mee that went in there, headed it from just past the penalty spot area, or just around about the penalty spot area, headed it at least a couple of feet wide of Mignolet's far post, and it was a decent half. It was a real half chance there for Burnley, but it would have been a difficult one for them really to take advantage of. But still, they've had their moments, Burnley, which is an encouragement for them. That's a long ball really that was aimless, but well kept in, to be fair. Chan gives it away, and the fourth official there has given 3 minutes. And I'm not sure what the 3 minutes are for. Maybe 1 or 2 minutes perhaps, but I've certainly not seen too many in the way of stoppages or too many 3 kicks. And I find 3 minutes a little bit odd, to be quite honest. I don't know what you guys think at home, but I think 3 minutes is not. I don't think was the right decision. I think maybe 1, maybe 2 minutes at best. I'm trying to think where the fourth official has got 3 minutes from. I really do. But it's still 1-1 though, which is still a positive first half for Burnley, who, to be fair, have been under the cosh really from Liverpool's wave after wave of attack, but they've done really well. Apart from the goal where the defence was split and Pope was a bit slow getting down, they have been superlative. And you cannot argue with that, and Scott Arfield's goal was superbly taken. But if it was to end this way at the end of the 90 minutes, I think it would still be a good result for Burnley, and it would be a real positive. But a real positive there from their first 3 away games. To have 5 points would be a huge feather in their cap. I'm not going to answer that question. I'm not even going to tell you anything, because we're commentating on the game and I'm not answering silly questions like that, and you will be taken off if you ask again. Still 1-1. Here come Burnley, or here come Liverpool on the attack here with Coutinho. Coutinho cutting in field. Still Coutinho. Playing it out to Sturridge. Sturridge tries to get the shot in, and well held at the near post by Nick Pope. Hit it with his left foot, Daniel Sturridge, but Pope was well behind the shot and did remarkably well. If you're going to ask questions, everybody, on the live streams, please ask about the game, and not, as I say, I'm not answering the question, Dylan. Ask me about the football, not about the commentary or how I'm watching things, because that's none of concern. That's none of your concern. All I ask from you guys every other week is please ask about the game, because I get this question about 20 times during a match, and it gets repetitively boring. And that's no disrespect to you guys, and it's not meant as a hurtful comment towards you, but please, I want to be asked opinions on the game that's taking place, not how we're watching things and stuff like that. That's irrelevant. But I tell you what though, I think Liverpool have certainly had the... Well, Lewis has asked a good question. Who's dominated? Well, I have to say Liverpool have had the better chances. And here's a chance here now for Milner on the far side, as the ball will get crossed in there. I'm going to stop reading comments now as this shot comes in, deflected away. Brady hooks it out, and I think the referee surely was blow for time now, and he has done. So 1-1 is the score at Anfield. A terrific first half, a great first half there, and I have to say it was a great performance so far from Liverpool. They've been lucky not to be winning, in truth, and this is coming from a staunch Claret. But Burnley took the lead against all the odds. 27 minutes. Scott Arfield, unmarked, edge of the area, controlled side foot with the right foot into the bottom corner of Mingele's goal. Gave Burnley the advantage, but it only lasted for 3 minutes. But Salah did really well. He turned he was back to goal on the edge of the penalty area. He turned, swiveled and hit the shot left foot past goalkeeper Nick Pope, who I have to say was a bit slow getting down, but it was a good finish from Salah nonetheless with his left foot. A super finish, and well, Liverpool I think deserve on balance to be at least on parity, if not winning this game. So that is the situation at Anfield at the moment. We are live at the moment, and we're taking 5 minutes on the stream, so I'll be going off mic for 5 minutes while I stock up on caffeine for the second half. But just to let you know that it's 1-1 here at the moment, and we hope to see you very soon for the second half. And in 5 minutes time I will be back on mic to bring you up to speed with all the other scores from the Premier League, Championship, and from the Scottish Premier League, of course, as well. And then at 5 o'clock, don't forget, full classified results and interviews with the main protagonists hopefully from this game and from some of the other Premier League games that have took place at this afternoon. So we're going to take a 5-minute break. Join us again in about 5 minutes time for the up-to-date scores, half-time scores, but at the moment it's 1-1 at Anfield, and we'll see you in 5 minutes. And a warm welcome back to the Clarets Match Live, where the main event in our programme today is Burnley against Liverpool at Anfield, and it's 1-1 at half time. Right, let's get you up to date with what's been happening in the Premier League elsewhere. Earlier today, a goal from Davis won Southampton a 1-0 victory against Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park. It now means that Crystal Palace now have lost all 5 of their opening games in the Premier League. They've already changed their manager, and it's made absolutely no world of difference this afternoon. Southampton winning it by 1-0, and Roy Hodgson's return was a Crystal Palace fan, incidentally. Well, it's not had the desired effect today. In the 3 o'clockers, I should point out, as well as Burnley drawing 1-1 with Liverpool at the moment, we have Huddersfield 0, Leicester City 0 at the John Smith Stadium. That is a half-time score. Newcastle winning 1-0 against Stoke City. The goal scorer, incidentally, for Stoke, it was Atsu after 19 minutes, and that has put Newcastle in front in that match. Newcastle trying to win their 3rd successive Premier League game under Rafa Benitez. It's a bit of an open and shut case, I'm afraid, down at Vicarage Road, I'm afraid. Watford 0, Man City 3 is a half-time score. 2 goals for Sergio Aguero after 27 minutes and 31 minutes. And Jesus has made it 3-0 after 37 minutes. That's a half-time score now. I think a big second half, or a long second half, may well be in store for the men from Hertfordshire. They're 3-0 down to Manchester City. And any feel-good factor that Watford had before the game has probably gone by the wayside. And Man City, incidentally, will go top should they hold on, or they should hold on from that position there. So Watford 0, Manchester City 3 is also a half-time score. West Brom and West Ham are still goalless, and Spurs and Swansea kick off at 5:30. Right, let's go elsewhere before the second half begins. We're just waiting. We're just waiting for the players to come out at Anfield. Let's just give you the Championship scores. We'll run through these quickly as we can. Right, let's start in the Championship. Of course, Ipswich 0, Bolton Wanderers 0, Birmingham 1, Preston North End 1. It could be a good, crucial result that for Birmingham, who were in the bottom 3 at the start of the day, winning 1-0 at St Andrews. Bristol City 0, Derby County 1, Burton 1, Fulham 1, Cardiff 0, Sheffield. I think that's Sheffield Wednesday, is it? Yes, it's Sheffield Wednesday. Won a goal from Hooper, so Sheffield Wednesday leading in that game. So they're 1 up. As we go back to the Championship once again, let's carry on with the half times there. So Sheffield Wednesday winning at Cardiff. Hull City 0, Sunderland 1. That could be a big goal for Sunderland, that one. Brentford 1, Yapstam's Reading 0. Middlesbrough being held at the moment at the Riverside 1-1 by QPR. Millwall Leeds 0-0. Leeds, of course, the leaders and the only unbeaten side left in the Championship at the start of today. Midlands derby between Nottingham Forest and Wolves, that's goalless. And Sheffield United 0, Norwich City 1. Barnsley and Aston Villa kick off at Ortwell at 5:30. Incidentally, we are still waiting for the teams to come out in the second half, so we'll go up to Scotland, in fact, to see what's been happening in in fact, we'll go to Leagues 1 and 2 as well, in fact. So League 1, plenty of going in those games. Milton Keynes 2, Rochdale 2, Blackburn 0, Wimbledon 1. Good result that for Wimbledon at the moment. Bradford 1, Rotherham 0, Bury 0, Plymouth 0, Gillingham 0, Charlton 0, Blackpool 2, Oxford 0, Oldham 1, Shrewsbury 1, Portsmouth 1, Fleetwood 0. Not a good result so far for Fleetwood. Southend 0, Northampton 2, Walsall 1, Peterborough 0, and Wigan 1, Bristol Rovers 0. And we'll check on League 2 now before we go on with the second half. Earlier today in the game between Lincoln and Mansfield, Lincoln 0, Mansfield 1. That was a full-time result. In the 3 o'clockers, all these games kicking off at 3. Wycombe 1, Luton 0, Carlisle 0, Barnet 1, Cheltenham 2, Colchester United 1, Chesterfield and Accrington 0-0, So too Crawley Town and Notts County. Cambridge 1, Coventry 0. Grimsby 1, Yeovil 1. Morecambe 1, Newport 1. Port Vale, who are struggling to buy a win at the moment, they're 1 up though against Forest Green Rovers. Swindon 2, Stevenage 0. Exeter 2, Crewe Alexandra 0. I think the teams are already out there, so that's all the half time sorted out for you. So we're back with the second half. Then we'll check with Scotland, with the Scottish game afterwards, the Scotland matches afterwards. But at the moment, I have to tell you that Burnley are just entering the field here at Anfield. It's keeping Liverpool waiting slightly. They led through Scott Arfield's goal after 27 minutes, but have been pegged back by a terrific swivel and shot, left-footed shot by Mo Salah, which Nick Pope could be a little bit if we could be a bit nitpicky at. He didn't really get down quickly enough to attempt to save it. But so far, though, apart from that moment, Pope has dealt with most things very comfortably as well. And Burnley, incidentally, will be attacking the Cop Ending on all-white strip in the second half, and it's they who are about to kick off. So we're all set to go then at Anfield for the second half. Burnley 1, Liverpool 1 rather, Liverpool 1, Burnley 1. I'm getting a bit tongue twisted here. So as I zip a bit of my warm cup of coffee, away we go in the second half as Ben Mee gets it forward. Burnley in white, going towards the right hand side, the Cop End at Anfield. Liverpool going towards the Anfield Road end in the second half to our left. Scored in the Cop at the first half from Salah. I mean, since Scott Arfield put Burnley ahead 3 minutes before at the Anfield Road end. So 1-1. Here's Claren now for Liverpool, just out of his penalty area, just to the left hand side, near side as we look. No changes I can see from any of the two sides, but we will, as I say, we will bring you up to date with all the latest scores from the Premier League as the second half convenes from the 3 o'clock kickoffs earlier today. Southampton won by a goal to 0. Stephen Davis's goal after 6 minutes, more than enough to see off a very, very disappointing Crystal Palace side whose new manager Roy Hodgson has lost his first match. Could be a long old season for the men from Selhurst Park. Here's Sturridge midway inside his own in the side of the opposition half, tries to chip the goalkeeper with his left foot, and he chips it into the Anfield Road end, not giving Nick Pope the opportunity to at least work for his save. And over the bar it went. It sailed over by a good 2 or 3 feet anyway, and it was harmless, as I say, into the Anfield Road end away to our left, and a goal kick to Burnley. Liverpool, who drew 2-2 against Seville in midweek in the Champions League on Wednesday, having gone 2 up and were playing really well, but their defence really let them down when it mattered towards the end of that game. And you know, the defence was a concern when Jurgen Klopp was asked a lot of questions about it, and I don't think their defence is watertight. I think they missed the likes of Steven Gerrard and Jamie Carragher that would have given them that extra 10%. But they could do with someone like Luis Suarez to finish these off. Sturridge has completely lost his way since Suarez left for Barcelona 3 years ago, although he has had his little career blighted by injuries. Gudmundsson has kept that in. Good ball over the top. Now Wood along the ground. Wood on the right hand side does well. Holds up possession as well as he can. He was isolated far too much, and he wasn't getting too much support, and he lost the ball, and it was quite evident really that he was not being offered too much support by the Burnley midfield. And to be fair to Wood, he's trying to hold up play on his own. I think it'll be a stick or twist type time really this second half for Sean Dyche. Does he stick and try and keep it at 1-1, or does he twist to try and win the game, but then risk losing it because Liverpool are such demons when it comes to attacking? There's so much talent going forward, Liverpool. That is the danger, and this will be a conundrum for Dyche. Does he stick or twist? Clarets Match live, 3 minutes of the second half gone. Liverpool 1, Burnley 1, and so far Burnley have done their jobs accordingly well, but Liverpool's starting to build something here on the left hand side here. And at the moment they can't fed their way through. Emre Can, who's probably lucky after 2 silly offences not to have been arguably booked. He also showed a bit of dissent to the referee. I don't like people who show dissent to the referee when they've been quite rightly penalised for free kicks and the like. I like Emre Can as a footballer, but he is petulant some of the time. He is. I don't think that's what's kept in play. Well, he was kept in play, but he lost possession anyway. Ball well over the halfway line, and back comes Claren. Claren cuts back, and Burnley not really trying to close him down too much, which is a real concern, because letting Liverpool have the freedom of Anfield here. Coutinho now winds up the right foot and hits it way into the back tier of the Anfield Road lower tier, and a goal kick it is to Burnley's right-footed attempt from about 20 yards. As he cut in from the left-hand side and smashed it well into row Z of the bottom tier of the Anfield Road stand, and a goal kick it is to Burnley, and Burnley will be happy if those sail over into the top tier of the Anfield Road. 1-1. Still the score as we come up towards the 5th minute of the second half. We're now into the 5th minute, incidentally, of the second half. Remember, after the second half of this game, we'll have the full classified check from England, Scotland and the Welsh and Irish leagues for you at 5 o'clock. We'll make sure you get that, and we'll try and get a little bit of reaction from events from around the country today. Obviously, we're not Burnley and Liverpool aren't the only Premier League game in action at the moment. Hopefully we'll get a quick interview with Sean Dyche and Jurgen Klopp before we leave you at about 5:15 this afternoon, as Coutinho takes possession midway inside his half. Plays Firmino, now Milner has it, now the ball out towards the right hand side, and Liverpool now working their way into the area, but again Stephen Ward wouldn't be beaten. And Stephen Ward has had a remarkably good game, but he's now, well, in fact it was Brady who made the challenge initially, but Ward has humped it into the stand over on the far side. Liverpool, such a rich history, it's hard to believe they've never won an actual Premier League title since the league began way back in 1992. As Coutinho fires a shot, and this time it was too close for comfort. He hit it with his left foot, and he hit it an inch or two over the bar this time, very much closer than the last effort he had, which ended up way off target and into the Anfield Road end. This time it was a lot closer there. It missed just an inch or two over the crossbar, but he hit that rather well on his left foot, Philippe Coutinho, and that's what he's capable of, and that's why Barcelona were sniffing at him quite a lot, as Oxlade-Chamberlain is about to enter the parade. Now, he was one of the villains when Arsenal came to Turf Moor last season and actually had a sort of a hand in the winning goal, so to speak, when he hit a shot. It hit Koscielny on the hand, and it whistled in, and it sort of ricocheted into the net, and I still feel to this day that goal should never have been given. So he has got history against Burnley before, but although he was standing offside as well, Chamberlain, at that particular moment. That was with Arsenal. Into the 7th minute, however, of the second half, and Burnley will be happier of the two teams, considering that they've soaked up the Liverpool pressure. Liverpool have more to play, as you'd expect. It's hard to tell, Lewis, who's half-time man of the match. I think we'll ask you listeners to decide who will be man of the match, shall we? On this Clarets Match live from Anfield, Burnley and Liverpool in action. 1-1 is the score between both northwestern teams. And here come the Merseysiders now, with Coutinho spreading it out towards the far side. Salah is there as well. Trent Alexander-Arnold offering some support on the right. So too is Milner. Still Salah has it. Infield to Coutinho. Coutinho at 25 yards from goal. Has to play it out now. Still Liverpool attacking. Firmino trying to work something into the penalty area, but couldn't succeed. Still Firmino gets the cross in. He hit his own man Coutinho in the chest. And then it comes out to Emre Can. Emre Can with the shot. Can shoots, and the goalkeeper didn't really hold on to it. And in the end, it was cleared away by Burnley. Emre Can, who should have been booked in the first half for a couple of misdemeanours and a bit of dissent, and the referee almost put Liverpool 2-1 in the lead. But it's a throw to Liverpool, 2 yards from the corner quadrant. As the corner comes in, it's a corner to Liverpool. And of course, Liverpool are celebrating their 125th anniversary, incidentally, and what a rich history. But it's not been such a good history as far as Premier League is concerned. They've come close to winning it on a couple of occasions, but have never won the Premier League trophy. But they have won 18 old First Division titles before the Premier League came into being. The fifth corner from Liverpool wasn't a good one from Salah, and Burnley just having to clear their lines a little bit here, and they have done this time through Stephen Ward, but only as far as Alexander Arnold. Now Liverpool coming at Burnley here. This is dangerous. Pope was a little bit unsure again. The ball had gone out of play anyway, so he's got away with it. He was a bit in two minds there, Pope, whether to come or stay at home. But it wasn't a convincing. I don't know how hard Chan hit this shot, but I think the goalkeeper should hold on to that for me. Up until then, his handling has been exceptionally good, but see how well he hit this Chan with his right foot, and well, Pope I think should be fielding that for me, but it's easy for me looking at it. It's very difficult really to comprehend really, but Pope has got away with it, and here is Pope again. Bowling the ball out there to Ben Mee. Infield to Cork. Cork now for Burnley. 1-1 is the score. 10 minutes of the second half have elapsed. And Burnley have got the likes of Sam Vokes, Ashley Barnes and John Walters if they need to in attack. And all three are match winners on their day, as we've seen before. John Walters especially, he's from the east part of the world, so despite the fact that he does play for Ireland, he is a scouser though at heart. But he has Irish connections, hence why he plays for the Republic rather than England, or qualify for England. He could qualify for both Ireland and England, but he decided Ireland. It's very difficult to get in the England side with their riches of attacking intent, with the likes of Harry Kane and Marcus Rashford and the like. But he's done a good job for the Republic. John Walters started his career amongst others at Ipswich, had a few years there, and then went to Stoke and did very good things there, and obviously come to Burnley. Although 33 years old, it was a bit of a questionable signing, and I did question that particular one, as again the camera fixes on Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. 1-1 is the score, and then at Anfield as Liverpool again start to work something here with Coutinho. Cuts in field just to the left hand side, cuts in field about 30 yards from goal. Milner might have a shot. Milner gets his shot in and it just goes a foot wide. Pope would have had the shot covered anyway, but a good right footed shot from about 22 yards out from James Milner. Did well, former Leeds man, started his career at Leeds and played for Newcastle and Manchester City before pulling up at Anfield. Didn't get the most happiest of welcomes from the Manchester City faithful last week when he came on as a second half substitute in that 5-0 loss at the Etihad. Liverpool now have had 20 attempts to Burnley's 2. They've had 6 to 1 on target in their favour, but still the big statistic is 1-1 in goals, and that's what football is about. You don't win games for shooting on sight and missing the target. You win games for scoring goals and hitting the target and making sure they hit the back of the net, and at the moment Liverpool aren't doing that. And Burnley, to their credit, have done really well, and here's one on the break, but Claren got a foot in and did really well. Now Coutinho has it on halfway, cuts in field, or cuts towards the outside. Now then, plenty back though for Burnley. Coutinho winds it up, and shot got a deflection by the looks of it from Coutinho, and it's a corner to Liverpool, their 6th one I think now of the contest, and still it remains 1-1 with 58 minutes almost gone. But Liverpool now turning up the pressure. Jack Cork, good, put his body on the line. Burnley are good at doing that, putting bodies on the line when it counts. They've got a couple of men on the post as that comes in. Oh, the goalkeeper didn't do well enough again. He's got away with 1 or 2 Pope in the second half. There's the ball in there. Wasn't convincing goalkeeping. They appeal for hands, I think it was more from Burnley than from Liverpool, as Salah now has it on the far side. I'd have to look at a replay to be absolutely sure whether there may have been a handball. Sturridge now inside the penalty area. Sturridge now might line up the shot. Sturridge shoots, and a good save this time from Pope. We knocked him a few moments ago for his handling, but there was nothing wrong with his shot stopping then. Hit it well on his left foot, Sturridge, but a good save, diving away to his left. Nick Pope, take a bow, son. Good goalkeeping. Corner taken short by Milner to Salah. Back to Alexander-Arnold. Alexander-Arnold whips his man. Crosses it back. Milner now will cross it in. No, he won't. There might be a shot on the air now. From about 20 yards, it's over the top. And a goal kick it is to Burnley. And an opportunity now. I'm just seeing a replay of Nick Pope's save here, because it looked as if Sturridge winded it up onto his left foot, struck it really well, and Pope just got everything behind it and just knocked it away with his fist. It was a super piece of goalkeeping that by the former Charlton keeper, whose handling has been a bit suspect in the second half, but so far he's got away with it, and he's riding his luck at the moment. And Johan Berg Gudmundsson's game is up after 60 minutes, and a chance now for Ashley Barnes. Now, is this a little change of formation perhaps from Burnley? Ashley Barnes maybe up front with Chris Wood, or will he play? He can play on the right hand side, he can play on the flanks, Ashley Barnes. We've seen him do that before in Burnley colours, so maybe the shape will still be the same. He does play predominantly as an attacker. Barnes on his day is a real match winner, as we've seen before. Here's Lawton for Burnley, trying to play it into Defoe. Defoe couldn't find Brady. Now Liverpool have it again, and this looks ominous here. They've got 5 up in this attack, but plenty back for Burnley. The shot coming in, and it's wide of the target, and a goal kick this time for Burnley. But Liverpool here making opportunities out of nothing here at the moment, and Burnley just a little bit stretched at the back at the moment as they went pouring forward. And it was, in fact, the shot was from Robertson, who pulled the shot wide. It was Andy Robertson with the shot, so goal kick. Well, it's how are your nerves, Burnley fans? Any Burnley fans listening in, please let me know in the comments to our right how you think that Nick Pope's performed in goal. How do you think the back four's performed? I haven't had too much to shout about, too much in attack, but apart from Scott Arfield's superb goal, which put Burnley in front for all of 3 minutes, but so far they're holding on in there, and if they get a point out of this, I think it's a very good point for Burnley. And as I say, 5 points from the first 3 away games when they were expected to get 0 was a terrific effort, and unbeaten away from home, that would be a real feather in Burnley's cap at this moment in time. But there will be, as we just see the number of passes, 454 passes for Liverpool as opposed to Burnley's 215. And there's Mignolet, who was beaten quite comprehensively by Scott Arfield in the first half. Ben Mee, time to chest it down, find Cork. Cork though wrestled out of it by 2-3 Liverpool players who converged on him straight away. Ben Mee again in with a tackle very well there to deny Salah from going any further forward. And I have to say, Burnley's defending in the main has been very disciplined and very, very well done. We're into the 62nd minute of the game, 63rd minute. We're at 62 minutes, sorry, and it's Liverpool 1, still Burnley 1. And it's going to be a nervy half an hour for every Clarets fan, myself included, everywhere. Here's opportunity now for Liverpool. Coutinho trying to turn, but they've kept Coutinho mainly in the main pretty quiet, which is a testament to the way Burnley have defended. But here's Robertson on the break, finds Firmino now on the left hand side. Infield again to Coutinho. Coutinho into Sturridge. Sturridge might turn here. Sturridge trying to get the ball forward, but again Burnley stuffing it out inside the penalty area and doing a fantastic job of snuffing that out. Sturridge taking his head in disapproval about things at the moment, and he hasn't had the game time he would have desired under Jurgen Klopp, but his fitness has always been a real question mark. Danny Sturridge, he is a top quality striker on his day, there's no doubt about that. Sometimes you've got to question, sometimes in the last couple of years, his England place. And Gareth Southgate has certainly told him on no certain terms, you've got to prove your fitness and form before you come back into the England side. As the ball chipped in there towards Milner, volleys it goalwards, and a great block. I think it was James Tarkowski in the way of that. That was what you call body on the line stuff, that, because that was going places, that volley, and James Tarkowski just threw himself at that and blocked it. It was superb. That is what I call top class defending. Still 1-1 here. But Liverpool turning up the heat here on the Clarets. The Clarets Match live as that ball comes in, but it's easy for Nick Pope, and Burnley can have a bit of respite here. But James Tarkowski, what a block this was. It looked for all the world that James Milner here, he hit this superbly on the volley, and he just stuck out a right foot here and blocked it. This is what I call defending, because that was going in for absolutely sure from James Milner. It looked as if it was, but James Tarkowski, take a bow. That was terrific defending, and it remains 1-1. And Burnley are hanging on in there. They've got just over 25 minutes plus stoppage time to go. So far so good, but it's still a long way to go. Burnley, we've had half an hour, we've had coming up towards 20 minutes of the second half, I should say, and it's felt like an hour, 3 hours. Oh, and Salah's nipped in, and Nick Pope, what a piece of goalkeeping, because he was so down the river by his defender. Mo Salah nipped in there, but Nick Pope did tremendously well. The long ball in there, and it was a header back, and I don't think it was really on. I think it needed to be headed away, but Nick Pope came out and just did what was needed. That was really good goalkeeping there by the former Charlton Athletic goalkeeper. That was superlative. It really was. And well, I have to say Burnley here are hanging on by grim life here, it has to be said. Anyway, elsewhere in the Premier League at the moment, we'll keep you abreast of what's happening elsewhere. It's not looking good for Watford, however. 4-0 down against Manchester City. Huddersfield and Leicester have had a couple of goals. 1-1 in that game. Stoke have equalised at Newcastle. 1-1 there. Watford 0, Man City 4. So as things stand, Man City will go 3 points clear, but having played one game more. And West Brom 0, West Ham 0 is a later score in the Midlands. But I have to say it's been a second half really where it's certainly egged and flowed all the way through, and but Burnley just hanging on in there by a real fingernail here. And that's always a worry, I suppose, when Liverpool are on the break, I suppose. We will be back in a second with the game, as I say, just to keep you abreast of what's happening at where else we're happening at the moment. So I'll just bring you up to date with the goal scorers at the moment. So we've had 66 minutes at Anfield. It's 1-0. Depotti put Huddersfield in front, but then Vardy from the penalty spot has equalised. So it's 1-1 at Anfield, 1-1 at John Smith's. It's 1-1 at Anfield, and we have we've lost footage from the game. It's still 1-1 incidentally. You're not missing anything at the moment, but we have been sort of let down a little bit here by the incompetence of technology, I'm afraid. But we are 1-1 at the moment. It's still the same. It's going, and when we get the action back we will continue with the commentary properly of the game, but at the moment we've got 1-1 Elsewhere it's 1-1 in the game between Huddersfield and Leicester. Southampton won at Crystal Palace, so Palace in big trouble there in that one. Burnley, as things stand, would actually go to the dizzy heights of 5th place, which would be a remarkable start for them after, what, 5 games, is it? And a real remarkable way that they've gone about things here. And we have the action back now from Anfield. We've seen a replay there. It's still Burnley on the defensive here. And I have to say, Burnley have defended rather stoutly throughout the game, and they've really done a good job at the moment. We're still at 1-1 with just around about 20 minutes, I'm guessing, now to go. Back to about 71 minutes we've played now, and we're still level at 1-1. The Liverpool coming close now all the while to try and win this game. And what a performance it has been, really, from Burnley to keep Liverpool just at the 1 goal at the moment. Ball back with Nick Pope as we go inside the final 20 minutes of the game. Pope bowls it out to the edge of the area, kicks long up the field. Long kick forward, looking towards Barnes. Wood might get there. Wood gets there now. Ball back to Brady. Brady now on the left hand side. Can Brady whip a crossing? He can towards the back post, but it's too hard. It was there was too much whip on that ball, I should say, and behind it into a goal kick. And it remains 1 apiece. We'll bring you up to date with all the other scores as we get them. 70% to 30% possession in favour, of course. You wouldn't be surprised to hear of Liverpool. Burnley come forward again towards the edge of the penalty area, and they almost whipped that one. Garfield almost getting that through there. It was good football there from Burnley. They're starting to have a go here, Burnley. Burnley in with a very committed challenge, but it was a fair one. Brady takes it on halfway line now for Burnley. Burnley now are really having a go and starting to make 1 or 2 things happen. This looks onerous. Here's Arfield now in the final third, trying to thread it through. It might drop for Wood, but it just ran away from him at the last second or two. And I think if he'd have got within a striking distance of the ball, I think he would have tried to strike that with his right foot for about 25 yards. I'll tell you what, Liverpool are not having it all their own way here today, and that can only be a good thing as regards this game. Been very impressive by the way they've gone about their business today, Burnley. They should be applauded for that. I've been very impressed. But at the moment it's still 1-1, and Liverpool really not having, as I said, not having it all their own way here. And here's Coutinho now midway inside the half. Turns, swivels, plays the ball out towards the far side, and Salah there on the far side. The cross coming in, gets a deflection. It's a corner kick. So more work for Nick Pope and his defenders to do. 74 minutes gone. Liverpool's 9th corner. Burnley have had none, but they're still hanging on in there at 1-1. and if they get a point, they'll have earned that opportunity. Corner comes back, gone short in fact, and then the ball hooked back into the danger zone, and Burnley were winning the headers there. It'll be kept in by Firmino. Firmino now for Liverpool. Firmino turns away. Firmino does well, but it's a goal kick. It came off Firmino last. Firmino is angry, but I don't know what cause he has to be angry about. To stop showing dissent to the referee, or else he's going to get booked for it. Well, Firmino kept it in here, took on Lawton, or took on Ward, and let's have a look at it. I'm just looking at it from another angle. Ward comes in with a tackle. It certainly, clearly, from the angle I've seen it from, it comes off Firmino last. So what cause has he got to complain? Firmino, I do not understand. 1-1 is the score. Burnley still hanging on in there today. Great credit. But here's Robertson now on the left-hand side for Liverpool. Robertson finding... Oh, I thought he got the ball then. I think the referee was wrong there to give that decision. I thought Lawton had got the ball cleanly. I don't think there was any malice in the challenge. I think Roger East has got that one badly wrong. And Sturridge, look, he gets the ball. Sturridge has dived. He's done a 6.5. He's conned the referee. Lawton is furious. And if he's booking Lawton, I think that's a disgrace. On top of the disgraceful decision he's given a free kick for. Roger East, get your act together, because that was an awful decision. An awful decision. I don't mean that again. I don't mean any illness against Liverpool here, but that is a fair challenge. If you're going to give fouls for challenges like that, then what's the point? We're now inside the last quarter of an hour. 1-1 is the score. Burnley, to their great credit, hold it in there. Here's Mignolet. That was never a free kick. Never ever a free kick. I am... Seriously, it bothers me really. As a football fan, you want to see committed tackling, and that was one of the best you've seen. And here's Brady though. Could work out here for Burnley. Brady cuts inside the area. Brady might shoot it. Brady shoots, and he's just down the... Well, Mignolet had to reach for that, but Robbie Brady, they're showing some good attacking intent from Burnley. A shot on target for them. 76.5 minutes gone. We're under 14 minutes to play. 13.5 minutes plus stoppage time. Liverpool 1, Burnley 1. Burnley really doing well, but there's still a long little way to go yet. Plus there's the stoppage time at the end. We criticised the fourth official for adding on 3 minutes when the playing wasn't 3 minutes. I just wonder how long he might add on at the end of this game. Salah now wins the ball for Liverpool in towards Coutinho. Coutinho has it. Coutinho wipes it up on the right foot, and he hits it this time into the top tier of the Anfield Road stand. Goal kick to Burnley. 13 minutes to go. Burnley now so close to possibly nicking a point from this game and potentially going 5th in the table. The top 5 would be in the Europa League spot if it stays the same. As things stand elsewhere, Huddersfield and Leicester are drawing 1-1. Newcastle and Stoke were drawing 1-1. Man City were 4 up last we heard at Watford. Substitution here for Liverpool. Firmino is going to come off and be replaced by Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. My apologies for what's going on in the background. Apologies for the sound loss. Still 1-1. 78 minutes gone. Chamberlain on for Firmino. As Burnley look to hang on in there to claim a huge point from this game at Anfield. There's also Solanka on as well for Philip Coutinho. So his race has been well and truly run. Done okay today, Philip Coutinho. Shown glimpses of what he's capable of, but hasn't scored. Burnley have kept him out today. And Firmino, as I say, off, and Chamberlain on. That's the Liverpool territory. Almost level, in fact, with the edge of the Liverpool penalty area. Burnley, of course, attacking the Kop end in the second half. 1-1. So close to a point. I predicted this on the Selco TalkSport predictor 2 days ago. Henry Chan has conceded a poor corner, a needless corner, and Burnley get their first corner of the game. We're into the 80th minute of the contest. Can Burnley, from this corner, potentially knock themselves into the lead? Barnes is in there. Me and Tarkowski are both forward from the back. Brady to take the corner. It is just on the quadrant at the Kop end. Wouldn't this be a turn up? Every Clarets holding its breath all around the world. Towards the back post. And the one off the line! Would you believe it? Off the line! Ben Mee with a header at the back post. It looked as if he was sailing into the back of the net. Mignolet all over the place. And off the line by Matip, I think, on the line. Well, that was a very close run thing. Matip got it off the line, and Burnley have won their second corner in a row. Brady with another corner, again towards the back post, and what a save by May from Mignolet. Robbie Brady there in the last couple of minutes has put in two magnificent corners. Mignolet comes to Kate this time. Oh my word, Burnley could have got in front on two occasions there. Ashley's online in the Manchester United fan. Huddersfield 1, Leicester 1. Newcastle now 2 up against Stoke. Watford 0, Man City 5. And West Brom 0, West Ham 0. Their latest scores as we see another opportunity for Burnley. Simon Mignolet save at the latest, at the near post I should say. Burnley have had two real opportunities. One off the line from Matip and one saved at the near post by Simon Mignolet. They could be in front, Burnley, arguably. Even though they've been up against it for most of the game. We've had just over 81 minutes. 1-1 is the score. What a finish here at Anfield. And here's a chance now for Liverpool to come forward. Here's Milner. Milner now taking on the defender. He whips him. This could be dangerous here for Burnley. Will the ball stay in? It will. And it's out for a corner. Another corner to Liverpool. Chamberlain getting to the byline. Ben Mee hooking it out. He could have scored a minute ago, but he's prevented an opportunity there. My goodness, the back four of Burnley have protected their goalkeeper very well as well, with Nick Pope as well. They've had a decent game so far, but there's still a bit to go. About 8 minutes left. There comes the corner in towards the 6-yard box. Punched away by Pope. Out for the throw. Safety first goalkeeper now by the replacement for Tom Heaton, who's out for months. Sean Dyche wouldn't say actually how long, he just said months. So it could be 2 months, it could be 3 months, it could be anything. The ball whipped in towards the penalty area and just wide of the target from, I can't tell who it was, but it was just wide anyway. Ball whipped in from the left hand side, and I'm just seeing who it might have been. Solanke, I think, had gambled inside the penalty area. It was a ball in from Trent Alexander-Arnold. It was a well-whipped, flighted ball. And he's capable of things like that, as we saw against Hoffenheim in the Champions League. And it was just a little flick by Solanke. It just went narrowly wide of the post. And Burnley have had a bit of a let-off there. 1-1. Liverpool have a throw deep inside their own half. Jurgen Klopp, animated as ever. Sean Dyche pretty much more the calmer of the two managers. But Jurgen Klopp knows his side have been in a game whatever happens, because Burnley have acquitted themselves magnificently today, and I think on balance of play, despite being second best really in terms of possession and chances, I think they've done well to possibly earn a point out of this, here, if not all three. Here's Robertson, left hand side, back in field to Milner, deep inside Burnley territory, back outside again to Robertson. Robertson cuts back inside, Solanke offers him support, gets the ball into the penalty area, headed away by James Tarkowski. It will be a throw to Liverpool, virtually level with the penalty area of Burnley. And now Milner continues, ball down the left hand side, Milner to the byline, cuts the ball back, it's a bit behind in fact, and the shot coming in, and Pope just about hangs on the goal line. The shot came in right footed from, I think it might have been Trent Alexander-Arnold, and absolutely desperate defending here. Alexander-Arnold hit that superbly well with his left foot, and Ben Mee almost got in the goalkeeper's way, and if it deflected off Ben Mee, well, it could have been a catastrophe there for Burnley, but still, 1-1. Ashley asked me, has the kitchen sink been thrown? Certainly Liverpool have thrown more than the kitchen sink at Burnley, but we're still holding on in there. We could have scored ourselves in the second half. That's how it's been so far. Here's Robertson for Liverpool. Burnley have got 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 back, making it very difficult now for Liverpool to try and throw anything else. 5 and a bit minutes to go. 5 minutes and 40 seconds of normal time remain at Anfield. 1-1 is the score. How long can Burnley keep it that way? Another good tackle from Tarkowski, but only as far as Milner. Now Robertson crosses in from the left hand side. Nobody gambling inside the 6-yard area. Burnley just happy to get it out, but it's been kept in on the far side. Liverpool now trying to win the game. And Salah preambles inside the area. Good tackle there by Ben Mee. No penalty. Ball back and again. Pope saves on the line. No goal. No goal. Nick Pope with another magnificent save. And again, Solanke's had 2 chances since coming on. And Burnley are hanging on for grim life here now. Here's Milner. Left hand side. 5 minutes just under the goal. Plus time added on, but Nick Pope, what a save. We'll probably see a replay of that in a minute. Roger Rees is not happy about something anyway. The ball's been whipped in from the left and it's gone for a goal kick, but Nick Pope, what a save. On the line as well. Let's have a look. I'm just looking at a replay here. Good play here. Salah thinks he's going to score, but Ben Mee comes in with a good challenge. Then the ball back, and in fact he's hit the crossbar. Trent Alexander-Arnold with the ball in. Now Salah goes in. I think Salah looks for that. Then the play comes on and off the crossbar and hooked away by Stephen Defoe. Well, what a finish here. We've got 4 minutes to go plus stoppage time. That's a good tackle, I think, from Ben Mee. I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all. But Solanke should have scored from there inside the 6-yard area. Klopp can complain all he wants, but that's not a penalty. It is not a penalty, Jurgen Klopp. It is not a penalty whatsoever. I don't know what cause he's got to complain about. 1-1, but Chris Wood is coming off. He's done well. No third goal in a row for him. Sam Vokes will come on now for the remaining 3 and a bit minutes. And Stephen Defoe, who's done remarkably well, he's going to come on as he's going to make way as well. So we've got about 3 and a bit minutes of time added on, plus time added on to go. Defoe is gone off, and actually Westwood, the January signing from Aston Villa, has come on with 3 minutes to go. Burnley so tantalisingly close now to a precious point, which could be also superb at the end of it. But free kick going against them as they were in an attack there, the Clarets. But 3 minutes of the second half remain, and Burnley have done remarkably well. Have not trailed in any of the match so far. Liverpool have had most of the players you would expect, as you'd imagine. But at the moment, it's still Burnley hanging on in there. They could have taken the lead themselves on a couple of occasions from 2 corners. Brady is putting 2 pearlers of corners. Referee's blown, I think, for offside. Liverpool, I think, are taking the free kick far too quick. I think Roger Rees should have pulled them back, but they've allowed it to go on. Robertson back in field. Certainly now, Burnley have got some defending to do. Remember, around about 5 o'clock, we've got the classified football results. We'll bring you them as soon as we get them, and then hopefully we'll bring you some reaction before we leave you at about 5:20 this evening. What a finish we are in for here this afternoon. Free kick to Burnley though, fouled by Salah and on Barnes, with 2 minutes now of normal time to go. God knows what the 4th official might add on at the end. I'm praying and hope it's nothing more than 3 minutes, because I don't think we've had too many stoppages, only for substitutions. So it can't be surely any more than 3 minutes. I'll be very amazed if it's anything more. 1-1 still. Pope with a free kick, right-footed, well over halfway, 3/4 of the way up the field, towards the left-hand side. Ball given away though to Milner. Now Burnley have to get numbers back here, because Liverpool are going at them again. They're going for the cutthroat here, the Reds. As Solanke tries to break forward, but offside against, I think, well, I don't know why there was an offside. There was no Burnley player offside there. Jurgen Klopp is having a go at the officials. In fact, it's a 3 kick. I don't know. It's a 3 kick either. Anyway, here's Robertson. Liverpool having one or two of the niggly decisions given in their favour. I think Burnley have had the worst of the decisions, I have to say. Still 1-1. We're into the final minute of the game. Salah now inside the area. This would be heartbreaking if this was to go in again. Nick Pope, superb, handling superb. Mo Salah's shot with his left foot straight in the arms of the goalkeeper. Cutting field from the right hand side. Cutting field, as I say, and with his right foot hits it straight down Pope's throat. And still it remains 1-1. Oh, and what an amazing result this is going to be for Burnley. Goal kick to Liverpool. Came off Sam Vokes last. 20 seconds of normal time to go. Surely it's got to be no more than 3 minutes at the end of this. Surely. I'll be amazed if it's anything more. Goal kick to be taken by Mignolet, who's telling the players to get forward as quickly up the field as they can. Liverpool throwing everything at them, but on the same token, Burnley could probably sense blood on the counter-attack if they get the ball. 4 minutes? Where's he got 4 minutes from? That is ridiculous. I don't understand where 4 minutes has come from. I've got to say, 3 minutes maybe at best, but 4 minutes, I am absolutely amazed. I can only assume, I don't know if there's been any stoppages, but not been too many as far as I can remember. Tarkowski within another header, but 4 minutes? That is an unbelievably poor decision by the fourth official. Here's Salah now, ball towards the 6-yard box. Now Liverpool will feel they've got a chance to win this, and I think they've been helped by a very generous portion of time added on given. I can't understand where the fourth official's got 4 minutes from. I really can't. Because with all those stoppages, I've sort of totted them up in my head, and I know my maths isn't particularly good, but I would have said about 3 minutes. We've had one of the 4 minutes anyway, but where has 4 minutes come from? That is disgusting from the fourth official. Truly disgusting. I can't remember any time wasting from Burnley. I can't recall too much time wasting from Burnley, and I can only recall 30 seconds apiece for substitutions. So you look at that, count them up, top them up. It's got to be 3 minutes by my reckoning. But well, I don't know. I mean, the fourth officials have got an impossible job. I take that. Here's Chan now. He'll try a shot, tries to curl it in, and Nick Pope again. Safety first goalkeeper, and Chan has got a... Well, I don't like Emre Can's attitude really, but he's a good footballer. Ruthless smile. I don't like that attitude from footballers, but it's a good right-footed try, and it was going in. It wasn't going in, but Pope wasn't to know. Corner kick to Liverpool. We've had nearly 2 minutes of the 4 minutes. I think 4 minutes is a very stupid decision from the fourth official, because it's given Liverpool an extra minute than I would have expected to win the game perhaps. And the ball tossed in there, and it comes to Milner on the far side, on the near side I should say. Milner back inside to Emre Can. Can hits the shot, and I think it's a corner. I didn't think it was deflected at all. And what's Chan doing? What is he doing? Emre Can has got to be booked. He's having a go at Jack Cork for no reason at all. Emre Can should be booked for what he's doing here. This is disgraceful from Emre Can. He should be in the book. He should have been in the book a lot sooner than he was. Emre Can has got absolutely no grievances to grind at the moment. Jack Cork, he's trying to get Jack Cork into a lot of trouble, and if he's got Emre, yes, I think so too, Mr. East. But I don't want to see what Jack Cork did wrong. Emre Can deserves to be booked. It was disgraceful from him. He's an absolute idiot, Emre Can. The guy is a great footballer, but his attitude stinks. Liverpool corner, in towards the penalty area, comes to Milner on the edge of the area. Good block by Arfield, but he'll break to Milner again inside the area. Ball back across. We're now into the last minute of the game. Showing now Burnley have got to hold out. It's an eye for a goal kick, and Liverpool this time could have no complaints. But Emre Can caused all that bother, and he got Jack Cork booked for absolutely nothing. Disgraceful from Emre Can. Disgraceful behaviour, and I wouldn't condone that behaviour from a player like him. A great player he is, Emre Can, and I've got all respect for him, but he's a bit of an idiot. I'm sorry, but that's how I feel about it. He's got Jack Cork booked for absolutely nothing. Disgraceful from Emre Can, and I think he needs to be criticised. 15 seconds of time added on to go. Burnley, Ashley Barnes chasing at the other end. If I was Barnes, I would put my feet straight through Emre Can and try and break his legs, because the guy's attitude is stunk today. 4 seconds to go. Surely the referee's got to blow for time. Surely now, with Nick Pope, he's had a superb game. We've played the 4 minutes. Surely that must be that. It is it! 1-1, it's finished, and Burnley deserve a point. Yes, Liverpool had more of the play. They had more of the opportunities, but Nick Pope on the defence played a superb game. Frustrated Liverpool and deservedly take a point. They did take the lead, however, through Scott Arfield's brilliant goal after 27 minutes. But then Salah came back with the equaliser for Liverpool 3 minutes later, and then it was all back to the wall job really most of the second half for Burnley, and they hung on in there. They had the crossbar hit, and Burnley could have won themselves. 2 headers from Ben Mee that were cleared off the line. Oh my goodness, one was headed off the line by Matip and another one there, but I have to say, one grievance I would have from Liverpool's point of view is the attitude of Emre Can. Emre Can, well, he's a great player, he's a fantastic player, but I'm sorry, and if I upset any Liverpool fans, I am desperately sorry, but Emre Can is a joke when it comes to his attitude, and I think he needs to have a look at his behaviour and his attitude, because he caused the trouble with Jack Cork. He pushed Cork, and he forced Cork into retaliation when Cork was trying to mind his own business, and he got Cork booked. And I think Can could have arguably on another day have been shown 2 yellow cards, because one or two of his challenges were bordering on the more stupidity. But it's all anyway. Doesn't matter anyway, because it's finished. It's finished 1-1 here at Anfield, and let's not talk about Emre Can. Emre Can's disgusting behaviour at the end, but let's praise Burnley for their defensive work. Liverpool will be wondering how they haven't won that game, to be fair. Ashley's come in and said, Gianluigi Pope, well done goalkeeper. Congratulations to Burnley, a great result at Anfield. And I've got to say, if you were I must admit, I'm the most ardent a Burnley fan, right? But when the fixtures came out for the first 3 away games of the season, and you had Chelsea away, Tottenham away at Wembley, and Liverpool away at Anfield, I think even the most optimistic Burnley fan would have thought, well, a point at best possibly for that. But let's be fair. Let's be absolutely fair. 5 points away from home, considering Burnley had a bad away record and only won on their travels away all season. They're actually unbeaten on their travels in the Premier League this season, and that is a testament to how well as a team they've improved. Yes, we've lost 2 key players in Michael Keane and Andre Gray, but my goodness, James Tarkowski had a superb match again today. So too did Ben Mee. They were only found wanted on one occasion, that was the Salah equaliser. But apart from that, to a man, from the old 1 to 11, they were amazing. They were superb and deserve every single bit of praise. They got a great round of applause, the Burnley lads, from their supporters as they came, from the Burnley fans as they came off the field. And I have to say, well done Burnley. Liverpool will feel very disappointed, of course, when you look at the game from an objectively point of view, but at the end of the day, Burnley battled. They absolutely were hanging on for grim life and really frustrated Liverpool, Liverpool will feel angry that they didn't win the game, but let's not fault Burnley, because they came in there and to the man they absolutely stifled that defence, and in the end I think they've got truly what they've deserved. Precious points here today at Anfield. And Liverpool in fact have had 35 shots but have actually drawn the game. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you have 35 shots, sorry. The statistic that really counts at the end of the day is how many goals you score. And well, there we go. Right, well, we'll be going, and we've got some scorelines happening at in the Championship. Preston have won 3-1 at Birmingham. Well, Birmingham were winning 1-0 at the break there, but I have to say, well done Preston. They come back really. I have to say, But Birmingham, they're not looking good at the moment in the bottom three as things stand. We'll be back in 5 minutes for the classifieds. Welcome back to Anfield. Sorry about the little break, but we are back with you now for the classified football results. As soon as we get them, we'll bring them to you here at this afternoon. But at Anfield today, it's been a remarkable backs to the wall job performance really by Burnley. They've done terrifically well. Great performance really. There has been some really big developments happening in the Championship. In fact, at the New Den, where Leeds' unbeaten record has gone, because Millwall have won 1-0 at the New Den. There's been a goal in the game at Wickham where Luton have just scored, and Blackburn Rovers, believe it or not, have lost. Yes, 1-0 to Wimbledon. Great result for Wimbledon, and that has made every Burnley fan's dream come true today. We've got a draw at Anfield, which we thoroughly deserved. And now Blackburn have been beaten by AFC Wimbledon. Probably one of their biggest results in their short history. The winning goal, incidentally, from Millwall came from O'Brien after 73 minutes. So there we go. So we're just waiting for the full classified results. Still some games. There's still some results coming in at the moment elsewhere. It's finished in, there's two games that just finished in the Championship. Sheffield United 0, Norwich 1, and Middlesbrough 3, QPR 2. So we're now in just about 5 or 10 seconds from now, we are going to go across. I'm going to give you the full classified check on today's results in England, Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland. Here come the classified scores. Just waiting for the classifiers to come in, so we're all set to go with all the classifiers. Most of the results are in, so it's time for today's classified scores, and we're going to begin with the Premier League here on the results service. So let's start with the Premier League, and we begin with Crystal Palace 0, Southampton 1, Huddersfield Town 1, Leicester City 1, Liverpool 1, Burnley 1, Newcastle 2, Stoke City 1, Tottenham Hotspur versus Swansea City is an evening kickoff, 5:30 PM, Watford 0, Manchester City 6, and finally West Bromwich Albion 0, West Ham United 0. Into the Championship now. Barnsley against Aston Villa is a 5:30 kickoff. Birmingham 1, Preston 3, Brentford 1, Reading 1, Bristol City 4, Derby County 1, Burton Albion 2, Fulham 1, Cardiff City 1, Sheffield Wednesday 1, Hull City 1, Sunderland 1, Ipswich Town 2, Bolton 0, Middlesbrough 3, QPR 2, Millwall 1, Leeds United 0, Nottingham Forest 1, Wolverhampton Wanderers 2, and Sheffield United 0, Norwich City 1. Into Sky Bet League 1 now. Blackburn 0, Blackburn 0, Wimbledon 1, Blackpool 3, Oxford 1, Bradford 1, Rotherham 0, Bury 0, Plymouth 0, Gillingham again 1, Charlton Athletic, that's the latest score. MK Dons 3, Rochdale 2, Oldham 1, Shrewsbury 2, Portsmouth 4, Fleetwood Town 1, Southend 2, Northampton Town 2, Walsall 1, Peterborough 1, and Wigan 3, Bristol Rovers 0. Sky Bet League 2 now. Cambridge United 2, Coventry 1, Carlisle 1, Barnet 1, Cheltenham 3, Colchester 1, Chesterfield 1, Accrington Stanley 2, Crawley 0, Notts County 1, Exeter 3, Crewe Alexandra 0, Grimsby 2, Yeovil 1, Lincoln 0, Mansfield 1, Morecambe 2, Newport County 1, Port Vale 1, Forest Green Rovers 1, Swindon Town 3, Stevenage Borough 2, and Wycombe Wanderers 1, Luton Town 2. And now we go into the Vanarama National League. Barrow 1, Torquay 1, Bromley 1, Solihull Moors 0, Dagenham and Redbridge 3, FC Halifax Town 1, Dover 4, Chester FC 0, Eastleigh 2, Fylde 2, Ebbsfleet 0, Tranmere Rovers 0, Gateshead 0, Aldershot Town 1, Leyton Orient 1, Hartlepool 2, Macclesfield 1, Maidstone United 4, Maidenhead United 2, Bournemouth Wood 1, Woking 2, Sutton United 0, and Wrexham 1, Guiseley 1. Into the Scottish Premiership, the Ladbrokes Premiership. Aberdeen 1, Kilmarnock 1, Celtic 4, Ross County 0, Dundee 3, St Johnstone 2, Hamilton Academicals 1, Hearts 2, and Hibernian 2, Motherwell 2. Ladbrokes Championship. Dumbarton 2, Brechin 1, Dunfermline 3, St Mirren 0, Falkirk 0, Dundee United 0, Inverness Kelly Thistle 1, Livingston 3, and Queen of the South 1, Greenock Morton 2. Ladbrokes League 1. Adrianians 0, East Fife 1, Albion Rovers 0, Stranraer 4, Ayr 3, Alloa Athletic 3, Forfar 0, Arbroath 5, Queen's Park 0, Raith Rovers 5. Ladbrokes League 2, Annan 1, Annan Athletic 1, Stranos Muir 1, Berwick 3, Elgin City 2, Clyde 2, Edinburgh City 3, Cowdenbeath 0, Peterhead 4, and Montrose 1, Stirling Albion 3. In the JD Welsh Premier League, Bala Town 0, Carmarthen 4, Llandudno 1, Barry Town 0, and Newtown 4, Aberystwyth 0. And finally, the Danske Bank Premiership, Ballymena 1, Glentoran 3, Coleraine 3, Carrick Rangers 0, Crusaders and Arch finished goalless, Dungannon 2, Warren Point 1, Glenarvan 3, Cliftonville 1, and finally Linfield War, Ballymanard United 0. And so to the league, and the late result is just finished in Sky Bet League 1. Gillingham 1, Charlton Athletic 0. That is a result. So let's look at the tables then, starting with the Premier League. City top by 3 points from United, who have a game in hand. Newcastle now going to the top 4. Huddersfield in 5th with their point. Burnley move up to 6 on goal difference from Liverpool. Then Southampton, then West Brom and Watford all completing the top 10. At the wrong end of the table, let's have a look at that, shall we? In fact, from 5th to 10th, it's all 7 points. Spurs in 11th, then Arsenal a point behind in 12th. Stoke, Leicester, Brighton, Swansea and Everton all outside the bottom 3, which is now occupied by West Ham, Bournemouth with 3 points and Crystal Palace with none. Leeds are still top with Wolves second, but Leeds have lost their unbeaten record to Millwall. Cardiff, Preston, Ipswich and Sheffield United have 17 to 15 points. They're all in the playoffs. Then come Middlesbrough, Bristol City, Sheffield Wednesday. At the other end of the table, Bolton, Birmingham and Brentford are still the bottom 3. Sunderland are 2 points ahead of them. Villa have yet to play. They play Barnsley in a 5:30 kick-off, and that's a big game for both sides at the wrong end of the table. In Sky Bet League 1, Shrewsbury and Peterborough lead the way. Peterborough second on goal difference ahead of Bradford, Blackpool, Wigan and Charlton, who are in the playoff spots. Fleetwood just outside it. Portsmouth in 12th and Blackburn 11th. At the wrong end of the table, Oldham, Plymouth, Bury, Rochdale, upwards are in the bottom 4. Gillingham just outside it on goal difference. And then come Donny Rovers, Southend, Northampton and AFC Wimbledon, who have had a great result at Blackburn today. In League 2, good scores, great guns again for Exeter. They're top, Notts County second and Accrington complete the top 3. They're 2 points ahead of Luton and then a point clear of Mansfield, Coventry and Cambridge in the playoffs. At the wrong end of the table, it's Port Vale propping up the rest on 4 points, then a place above Chesterfield in the second demotion spot for Forest Green just outside it. Aldershot Town are top of the Vanarama League on goal difference from Dover. They both have 20 points. Then Dagenham and Redbridge, Sutton, Maidenhead, Bromley and Mason complete the playoff picture, with Halifax just outside on goal difference. At the other end of the table, we've got Torquay, Solihull, Guiseley and Chester in the bottom 4 with a 4-point gap to Fylde, who are just above the drop zone. In the Premiership, in Scotland, Celtic have a 2-point lead over Aberdeen after 6 games. They're on 16 as opposed to Aberdeen's 14. Rangers then a further 3 points back in 3rd. Then comes St Johnstone, Motherwell, Hibs in 6th place, then Hearts just behind them. And the other end of the table, Kilmarnock on 2 points and Partick Thistle second bottom on 2, with Ross County above that little danger zone. But as I said, there's only 6 games played. There's still a long way to go in that particular season. Anyway, we're going to get some reaction now from all the 3 o'clock Premier League games as soon as we get them, and we will do that just now. And we're going to hear, I think, let's see who we're going to hear, because this is the surprising aspect. We're going to hear from Manchester City, I think. Raheem Sterling is talking now to Final Score.
The ball and then more chances came, and we were really clinical today. That's what the managers wanted from us, was to be more clinical, and that's what we were today.
Certainly, I think it's 15 goals in the last week, none conceded, still unbeaten in the Premier League. Are we starting to see just how good you can be under Pep Guardiola now?
Yeah, I think we've showed signs all over last season. Some great football, and as I said before, it was just that clinical side of our game that was missing, and in the last few games we've been really good in front of goal, and long may that continue.
Clinical, they were.
Apologies there, but there we are. That's Raheem Sterling there speaking after Manchester City's 6-0 victory over Watford, and it was pretty much a walk in the park. Now City have scored. They've now scored a whopping 15 goals in their last 3 competitive games. They scored 5 last Saturday against Liverpool in that early game. They put Liverpool to the sword in that one. And then they scored another 4 in Europe in midweek when it could have been a banana skin for them. And they put another 6 in against Watford, and it was really an open and shut case really from that certain moment on. And it's been a real baptism really. But Watford have dropped to 10th as regards that scoreline, and it's been a remarkable start to Manchester City. Now it's all over to Manchester United tomorrow against Everton. Well, let's see what. I think we're going to get more reaction now from this time. I think we'll see who we're going to get this time to talk with, and we're going to hear from Nick Pope, the Burnley goalkeeper, in our match today. 1-1 it finished. Here is Nick Pope.
We stuck together as a team, as a unit, and we defended really well, played well.
For you personally, how pleased were you with your individual performance? You made a number of saves there in the second half. There's a lot of pressure from Liverpool, but you stood firm.
Yeah, so it's more of a collective, I think. Right from the front, we chased every ball, and we got together and stuck at it, and I think we deserved it in the end, definitely.
You said before you came here that Burnley should have no fear because of the results that you've had at Chelsea and Tottenham so far this season. What's been the key to frustrating the top teams away from home this year?
Obviously last year, second year in the Prem, so we've had a bit of practice at it and work on it, on the training field, and I think that's what mainly it is. A lot of work, and we've obviously got a lot of togetherness at Burnley. Our team spirit's excellent. The best I've ever been involved with, and I think that plays a massive part as well.
Indeed, what a performance there by Nick Pope. Terrific goalkeeper, and I've got to say, Burnley. Let's just say, looking back on our main event today, the Clarets Match live, what a performance from goalkeeper Heaton. He played some magnificent saves. He was superb. The back four of Burnley were absolutely superlative. And on another day, Liverpool arguably could have won the game, but the bottom line is they didn't win the game, and that was the overriding aspect of it. But you could also argue that Burnley could have won it themselves towards the end, because Burnley had two opportunities from two wonderful corners floated in by Robbie Brady, which on another day would have won them the match. So all in all, really, I don't think Burnley would grumble with a point, but arguably you could say they could have had all three, but that would be nitpicking, really, in all fairness. And I think if it had been, the scoreline had been offered to Burnley at the start, I think they'd have snapped their hand off, really, and I think that was a tremendous performance. And I think I would echo what Nicky Pope said just then in the interview. I think because of the way they defended so stoutly, they deserved a point. So yeah, I would ultimately obviously say that, because I think the way that they've gone about it, I thought they were superb. To a man, they were absolutely superb, and it's great to hear that Burnley. Well, hopefully we'll try and hear from Sean Dyche maybe in a post-match interview. If we don't shoot the messenger, and we can only dictate what is done in the interviews afterwards. But we're in the hands of the television people as far as regards the reaction of the interviews are concerned. But it was a good interview. Nick Pope, very level-headed guy, and he's coming now for 2 games. Maybe if he were nitpicking, maybe he could have done better on the equaliser from Salah. Could have got down a bit quicker, but I mean, when you think about it in the bigger picture, I think that would be nitpicking, I suppose. But a great performance nonetheless from Burnley. Great defensive display, and I think they look a lot more solid, even with Michael Keane. Tarkowski had an unbelievable game, and he was putting. I mean, the block to deny James Milner on the volley in the second half was unbelievably brilliant, and that's what Burnley may well have to do a lot of this year. But so far, they've taken 3 points from Chelsea, they've taken a deserved point from Tottenham, and they've taken another deserved point here from Anfield today. And plus 3 points they got at home as well. So to get the amount of points they've got is a testament to them. They are now in 6th place, level on points with the top 4. A great performance, and I have to say, well done really to Burnley. Great performance there from them, and very well merited. It's been a remarkable journey. Anyway, let's try and get some more reaction now from one of the other 3 o'clock kickoffs. Let's see who this one. Let's see what this is at the moment. We're just waiting to see who it may well be, and it is. In fact, this was from earlier today. Just seen pictures of Roy Hodgson, dampened, and he's applauded the Crystal Palace fans at the end of that game. He did, but I have to say, Southampton I saw the game earlier, and really Davis's goal was about as good as it got, really. Crystal Palace tried to hold on in there, but they just lacked a cutting edge, and have now not won their first 5 games. They've lost their first 5 games, and have now not scored, and that's never happened before actually in 25 years of Premier League history. Well, it's not happened ever in the top flight even before. But Mauricio Pellegrini, good result for him. Let's hear from him now after the game.
The group of players really good, but I think the first half was good. We created chances, and in the second half they were pressing a little bit higher. Okay, but in general we controlled the game, and important news for us, another 3 points. We have to get better, and sometimes it's easier to get better physically and even technically than it is mentally. And what we're going to need now, without a shadow of a doubt, is a lot of very mentally strong players, because the criticism will mount up. It's another game where we haven't won. The change of management has not brought the magic wand effect, which it very rarely does, in my opinion. But I still believe that in the long term, this group of players will pick themselves up off the floor where they've been knocked. But it's going to be a long road, a long haul, and there's going to be more pain perhaps along the way before we can actually start to see some light at the end of the tunnel.
Roy Hodgson there after that defeat for Crystal Palace. But before that was Mauricio Pellegrino, not Pellegrini as I said before, but not looking good for Crystal Palace at the moment. And Roy Hodgson, that's the first time he's been heard on our channel since that debacle at against Iceland, and I still cannot believe that that happened really. But there you go, it's just one of those things, I'm afraid. But yeah, it's been a tough start for Palace. As I say, I saw them last week and we did a blog on it, and the amount of chances Palace wasted or didn't take in that game, they played really well and they did enough to win that match at Burnley at Turf Moor 3, maybe 4-1. And I won't exaggerate it because they should have done that, but at the end of the day they didn't take their chances, and I think Ronald de Boer was sacked still rather unfairly. I have to say that. I still don't change my opinion. I think Roy Hodgson is not the right appointment for Crystal Palace. He's 70 years old. I think he's past it as a coach. I think all them shenanigans with England when they lost to Iceland, I think he should have retired as a coach after that. I really do, because he was found wanting towards the end, and I'm not sure, and I'm being totally honest here, and if I upset Crystal Palace fans, I'm really sorry, but I don't think Roy Hodgson's the man for you at the moment. But let's try to see if we can get some more reaction now. Let's just see in a minute. Yes, we're going to get more reaction. Jamal Lascelles now is talking. Is now talking after Newcastle won 2-1 against Stoke.
To answer, we had a lot of chances, and I think it was pretty unfortunate to let them score. But again, great intensity from the boys from the start. There's a real passion going about us, and and at the game today, it's electric. The fans are unbelievable. So we're on a good run at the minute. He scored.
Yeah, just a quick snippet there from the interview by Jamal Lascelles, who's one of the heroes today up at St James's Park. And Newcastle now have won 3 in the bounce. They lost their first 2 games, of course. They lost to Tottenham on the opening day, and then to Huddersfield Town down at the John Smiths, but still 9 points out of a possible 9 after that. And yeah, it's looking good for Rafa's side, and I'm sure the true Geordie, when he does his football hangover in a couple of days' time, will be quite happy about that, getting 3 crucial more points. It was always going to be a tough day, really. It was going to be. I always felt that Newcastle had enough in reserve to stay in the Premier League, and they're going the right way about it at the moment. They're playing some good football, and at the moment the Matt Ritchie effect, it seems to be having an effect on them up at St James's Park. But yeah, marvellous the way that has gone about, really, and yeah, superb. I have to say, superb performance. A great effort from Newcastle to win their last 3 games after having 2 really demoralising defeats, which could have knocked them sideways. They had a frustrating time of it in the transfer when Rafa Neves didn't get the players he wanted, but they've kept it together and have won some important points at that particular moment in time. So great resounding performance there. And as we look at no unbeaten records. Just to remind you, in the Championship, the final unbeaten record, which is held by Leeds United, has now gone. That was lost at Millwall today. They lost by a goal to 0. O'Brien got the winning goal. But a bit of a lopsided Championship with the teams you would expect to be up there, the likes of Hull, Aston Villa and Sunderland, down in the bottom 10 of the Championship. Hull lying 16th below Millwall, and Villa lying 20th and Sunderland 21st. But Birmingham City in real bother here at the moment, and they've had some really bad results. 2-1 against Burton, they lost 2-0 to Reading, then Norwich beating them, and then Leeds beating them, and now this one against Preston. That's an awful one. And now they've got some big games coming up against Derby away, Birmingham against Sheffield Wednesday, Hull away, and then at home to Cardiff. And I think that could be a real problem there for Harry Redknapp, and they really need to get their finger into gear, really. Shrewsbury, though, real good effort from them. Their unbeaten record continues. They're now 8 unbeaten, 7 wins and a draw, 22 points at the moment, so they're 5 points ahead of Peterborough. As for Gillingham, they were bottom of Panini's team, and now they're just out of the bottom 3. That's a great result for them, but at the moment. But the surprise package at the moment, Exeter obviously top, but we want to touch on Accrington Stanley here, another Lancashire club who have done remarkably well. John Coleman never has he probably has the worst budget in the whole of the Football League, but yet he manages to keep it all together, and that's a testament to him and his man management to get the players in and then get them into that team spirit. They've got a terrific team spirit down at the Crown Ground. I'm not going to say the Wham Stadium for obvious reasons, but terrific. They have a terrific sort of team spirit at the Crown Ground, and you've got to say well done to them. Really, it's been an amazing performance, certainly by them. Yeah, it's been a remarkable. It's been a remarkable day's football. We're gonna stay with you for a little while, see if we can hear from one or two of the other managers in a second. But just to keep you up to date with what's been happening in the Premier League today. Earlier on, Crystal Palace were beaten 1-0 by Southampton. A goal from Davies after 6 minutes. Stephen Davies after 6 minutes was enough to see Southampton over the line. And Crystal Palace have now lost their first 5 Premier League fixtures in a row without scoring a goal, which is unbelievably poor from their point of view. So Roy Hodgson has not had the desired effect initially. In the FA Cup games, one of the big stories, 2 big stories to come out of it. Obviously Manchester City walking in 6 past Watford, who didn't really offer that much by the sounds of things. But in our match, the Clarets Match live early on today, Burnley, backs to the wall, played out a brilliant 1-1 draw to save themselves a crucial point. They could have arguably won it towards the end when Ben Mee had 2, not 1 but 2 chances from corners, and could have won the game. Newcastle now up to 4th because they have beaten Stoke City 2-1, and they've won 3 successive matches on the spin. It's a great effort there from Rafa Benitez's men. As regards West Brom and West Ham, I'm afraid that was a goalless draw. But Huddersfield and Leicester played out a good 1-1 draw, apparently down at the John Smiths, and a point apiece for them. And Huddersfield stay in the top 10. In fact, they stay ahead of Burnley, and them two clash a week today. And we may well have that one for you on the Clarets Match live from Turf Moor next week. So plenty been happening in the world of football, and it's been a remarkable day in the Premier League. Just incidentally, Spurs and Swansea kick off at Wembley in about 5 minutes from now. So they will be kicking off in about 5 minutes, as I say. So that will be an interesting match down there at Wembley. I nearly said White Hart Lane. And yeah, it's been an amazing day in the Premier League, when you look at it one way or the other. We've had some real performances today, though. Burnley, though, have really done terrifically well, and I've got to say, great performance, backs to the wall job. And in reality, In reality, it was always going to be a tough task for Burnley to even get a point from this game. But my goodness, didn't they do fantastically well? So the headlines. So before we leave you tonight, the headlines. We'll bring you the headlines in just a second. I'm just going to see if we can. I wonder if we're still doing reactions from the afternoon's fixtures. Let's just see in just a second or two. No, it isn't. So it's all over. So we've got all the reaction that was necessary. So that's it, really. All that's left to say is, let's just recap what happened in the Premier League. Huddersfield drew 1-1 with Leicester. Newcastle beat Stoke 2-1. They go 4th. Watford 0, Man City 6. Man City now go a couple of points clear of Manchester United, who play tomorrow at home to Everton. But really the biggest, in our main event, the Clarets Match live, Liverpool and Burnley. What a performance from Burnley. Backs to the wall. Liverpool had a whopping 35 shots at goal, but couldn't break that Burnley defence down. They only managed to score once, but Scott Arfield also scored for Burnley. They took the lead. Liverpool equalised 3 minutes later, and Burnley, great defending. Nick Pope, terrific saves. Great defending from the likes of Tarkowski, Mee, Ward and Lawton. Didn't let anybody down today. Brilliant defence and goalkeeping. And Ben Mee himself, towards the end, could have won it. Indiscipline from Emre Can, who could have, in my opinion, should have been sent off possibly for 2 yellow cards. A couple of the challenges he made in the game I felt were bordering on the lines of petulant. But let's not talk about Emre Can's indiscipline. Let's talk about the way Burnley performed. I'm going to end the broadcast with this. If any Burnley fans out there would have been offered 5 points from the first 3 away games of the season, would you have snapped your hand up or what? Because I tell you what, compared to last season when we couldn't even buy a point away from home towards the end, this has been a great start. We were beaten away from home in the Premier League, and we've done it against 3 of the top 4 teams. We beat Chelsea on the opening day, we took a point away from Wembley against Tottenham, and now we've took a point away from Liverpool, plus 3 points against Crystal Palace. It's been a decent start to the season, just 1 defeat in 5, great start for the Clarets. It's happy days being a Clarets fan, and well, if we get another 3 against Huddersfield, it will be one of the most remarkable starts in Burnley's Premier League history. Thank you very much for watching and staying with us for the last 2.5 hours or so. It's been an absolute blast bringing you this match to you. Enjoy the Tottenham game on the television tonight. I'm going to sit down now, have a lie down, have a cup of tea, and enjoy the rest of my evening, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening too. Well, I'll be back tomorrow with another live game. We'll let you know what that is tomorrow, but for now, from me, JB, enjoy your rest of the evening, enjoy match of the day at around 10:30. But on a day where Burnley defended stoutly and magnificently, it was all backs to the wall stuff, real gutsy performances, bodies on the line, everything. They have nicked a 1-1 draw, and boy, I think Nick Pope's right. They deserved it. They played magnificently, and I felt they deserved something out of the game. Liverpool need to look at themselves in the mirror. But well done the Clarets, 1-1 draw against Liverpool today, well deserved, into the top 6 of the Premier League. Not bad going, is it? From me, JB, good night.